So the challenge is that I am going to share my screen and show you where I'm working. And then it really would help if you had a second screen, or if you minimize this screen and then also had Paragon open, right? You kind of need to have a big monitor to do that. So 2 screens really helps so that you can be looking and practicing as we go along. So maybe we'll just wait another minute and wait for others to join us.
Marion, I have a really dumb question.
No dumb questions, go for it.
I've lost my Paragon link. I'd saved it, and how do I sign into my Paragon?
Okay, the link is called Maui.clarity. So clarity is CLAREITY.
Okay.
.net. And then it has /layouts, but I think you should just be able to get there with Maui.clarity. Although that's not the login page. Sometimes I just go Google and I Google Maui Paragon.
Right. No, I got the login page. Thank you.
Okay. Hi, Alan. Good morning. And Sarah's here. Hi, Sarah. Hi.
Good morning.
All right. So I was just saying before that it helps to have 2 screens so that you can be practicing along. All right. So let's get going here. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want to learn today? I just want to see if I make sure to cover that. Anything in particular? No, you just want to know it all. Just a general refresher. Okay, great. We'll go for that. All right. So just remember, I like if you just ask questions, don't do the chat box, just shout it out. And to do that, the easiest thing to do is to hit your space bar, not hit it. Hold your space bar down. And when you hold your space bar down, you unmute yourself. So it makes it kind of handy. Hey, Lucy. And is that Steve or Jeannie that we have here? Well, either one of you or both of you, welcome. So holding your space bar down allows you to ask a question and unmute yourself. It's the simplest way to do it. If you're on a Mac, I don't know what to do. You have to find the unmute button. All right, so I'm going to go share my screen. I'm assuming you all know how to log into Paragon. So when you log into Paragon, this is what you get. This, however, isn't Paragon. This is the Clarity dashboard. So this is what we have set up that kind of makes life easier. So just to share with you, I never log into anything directly. I only go here. I do not know my zip forms password. I do not know what, forget it. I just go here. And once here, everything is already, the Clarity dashboard remembers the password. And so I can just log in. So if I want to go to zip forms, it's right here. Paragon is, of course, the first button, since that's the originator of this whole dashboard thing. So what else have we got here? Central lock. If you've got a central lock, if you've got an electronic lockbox, this is where you can go to further learn about it and manage your account. Your RAM membership portal is here. Our billing is going to be in here. So if you want to pay your bill or check out how much your bill is or whatever, go here. Realist. Realist we're going to cover when we go into a listing, but Realist is a pretty awesome site that culls tax records and permit information and sales data and real estate data, and is a great source for that back-end information. Realist is paid for by the Realtors Association of Maui. It's a benefit that they provide us. So you cannot go there by going to realist.com. You can only access the real list data through this dashboard or through a listing on Paragon. RPR is the Realtor Property Resource, which is a free service from the National Association of Realtors. It is much like Realist, a back-end data source. It's much more than that. You can do reports out of Real Property Resource, and as a matter of fact, I think that is a great, or did we recently have it? It's a good topic for a Monday morning class, right? So if you haven't been in there, it's free. You do need to register. You need your NERDS number, which is your NAR membership number. So if you can't remember it, they'll help you find it. And your password or your username to log in is your login information, your login 5-digit code to the Clarity dashboard, to Paragon. So whatever your Paragon password is, that 5-digit code, that's your username for RPR, and then they'll take you from there. So go in there. It is a pretty phenomenal and robust system with a lot of information. It is also, at this point, pretty much a national database for us. You can go there and put, you know, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and see how much houses are going for there. It is not available to consumers. It is only available to realtors. So if you've got somebody interested in another area, this is kind of a useful tool, not just Zillow, right? Zillow is what's available to the public. But if you wanted to research some back end stuff, take a look at solds, for instance, you could do that in RPR. You can also do a CMA in here. You can do a property profile. You could do a neighborhood report. There's a number of good reports in there, and it lets you choose which pages you want to use, and it remembers what your preferences were. So definitely worth spending a couple of hours browsing through this and getting to know it. The next tab here is called InfoSparks. It's the one that looks like a line graph, right? And I'm going to go there. InfoSparks is the statistical program that is overlaid on top of our MLS. So it's going to provide us with statistics about our real estate here on Maui. So let's just give you an outline of what we're looking at here. At the top, we've got, you can select by price range. Right now, none of them are selected, so we've got all price ranges. Property type, we've got here single family or condo. There is no land statistics in here included, and no commercial, etc., no business, just single family and condo. Also residential condos, right? Those are parcels that have been divided into 2 or 3 units, condominiumized or not condominiumized. Here's whether we have fee simple or leasehold. Here we have the square footage, so you could decide to do some research on, show me everything under 1,000 square feet. What is that doing, right? And look for that. Here is number of bedrooms, number of bathrooms, and I think there is one more, lot size. Right now, it's set to all. So the chart you're seeing here is for all. And the chart you're seeing here is median sales price over a 3-year period. You can see here at the bottom left, it's 2017. You can also see over here that we've chosen a line graph over a bar graph. So let's look at what a bar graph looks like. Yeah, I like the line graph. The line graph kind of tells me more. And I've got it set for 3 years right here. If I click on the 3 years over here, I could set it for 1 year, for 5 years. I could set it for the maximum. And the maximum takes you back to 2004. So kind of cool to know, because you get this history of what happened in 2008, right? This is actually, excuse me, March 2007. Here is August 2008. So look what the market was already doing when the financial crisis hit, right? And we had this plummet in our prices. But look at where we are now. So,
Hey, Marion,
yeah,
I got a question. Is there anywhere in all these tools we have here that we can search, use price per square foot to search? You know, because I have some luxury buyers, and if I just look at stuff over 3 million or 5 million, it doesn't necessarily, it sometimes brings up dumps on nice footage, and I just was wondering if you knew of if there's a way to search for price per.
I don't know how to search for that.
Yeah.
We would have to look at customizing our search fields and see if we can do that. So when we get into Paragon, we can take a look at that. Here in InfoSparks, this is not a search function, right? This is a statistical reporting program. So no, it wouldn't be in here.
Okay, thank you.
But we'll get to that. And then you've got here, you've got the option to show 12 months, or you can show the monthly. That's what it looks like monthly, right? You can go rolling monthly, which is a little more jagged, or you can do rolling 6 months or rolling 12 months. So rolling 12 months, now what it lets you do, it lets you run your cursor over the line, and you can see what the actual numbers are, right? So these are, again, median sales price. How do I know how to change that is at the bottom. See all these blue boxes at the bottom here? Well, the white one is sales price. The next one is new listings. Oh, there's an uptick. That's to be expected. I'm glad to see that. We needed that, right? We need an uptick in new listings. Here's total homes for sale. Oh, yeah. Here's pending sales. Yeah, that's to be expected, right? We would expect to have seen a precipitous drop here in our pending sales happening in March. Closed sales. Okay, again, what we expect. Now, isn't this interesting, right? This is closed sales, and look how steady this is. I mean, it's grown, right? From here to here is 2,700 a year, and this is 1,385 at the bottom is what we're selling a year. And right now we are down to 2,300, down from 2,765. So pretty dramatic, but it looks like it's leveling, which is our experience, right? That's one of the reasons why looking at this is useful, because pendings, this is interesting. It continues to go down. It's not really, there's a little bit of leveling happening, but not a lot. I might look at the 1 year of pending. Yeah, that's 1 year of pending. It is not increasing. So that's not a good sign. All right, I'm going to go back to the maximum. Here is closed sales. We did that. Here's days on market. To be expected that would be increasing, right? Month supply. So month supply is how many months would it take to sell all this inventory? And right now we are at 5. Just all of our inventory, it would take 5 months to sell it, right? Percentage of list price. This is a very cool bit of information, right? At what percent to list price are things selling? And right now they are selling at 98.25. So you can tell sellers and buyers, right? This is what's happening on Maui. So when people want to come in with a lowball offer and there's already been price reductions and you see the price is being pretty spot on, you can tell people this graph right here. This is where we were at the bottom of the market in 2008, but this is where we are now, right? So not all that much negotiating room. Oh, here's a price per square foot, Steve. So how do we search here? The problem is you can't search for individual listings here. You can only get information. So if you did price per square foot and you went here and went to single family only, and you went to give me $1 million or more, right? High, and all land tenures, all sizes, all bedrooms, all baths. Yeah, that's what I want to see. And now I'm just going to go to 1 year. What is the cost per square foot doing? And you can actually run your cursor over and see what the numbers are. So right now it's gone down. The cost per square foot is 617. This is the median price per square foot. It was up to 638 just in July. So it's going back and forth. In February, it was 641 at its height. So it went down for a couple of months only and shot right back up.
Thank you.
So that's a good way to look at that. But again, I can't find you listings here. And then we've got dollar volume, if you wanted to know what the total volume is that Maui's doing, right? And this is a running total, a running 12-month total. So interesting statistics. You can also do other things here. Like if I wanted to look at closed sales and I wanted to look at the whole island for the year and I want to add an area, I can go here and say, let's add Kihei. All right, so Kihei was at 1,050, just closed sales running average 1,050. He's here?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Hold on just a second. So the money is on your desk under your yellow copy of the map, and you can take everything except the compressor and not the cart. And not, well, I separated the pink already, yes. Sorry, I have people doing dump runs for me and they just got me. So right here, this was in March, and right now, the Kihei is down to 763 from a year ago, 1,047. So that's like 30%, right? That's pretty significant. So we can see that. But now I can add more. See up here, I can keep adding a tab. It keeps giving me a new tab every time I hit something. And I can actually go here, and now I can scroll down, and it takes a while to kind of go there. Oh, I can look at this. I can go by zip code, by area, or complex name. So I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go, well, how does Hale-Kamaole compare? And now I've got Hale-Kamaole, and they are just steady as a rock. Well, no, they're not. They're doing 9 on average, 10, 10, 10, 10, and they were doing 17, 16, 17, 17, and they're down to 10. Sometimes this line, it doesn't look like it would be. I try to find a more dramatic complex. Sometimes a more dramatic complex really does show you what that complex is doing. It's quite fascinating. So it's always worth checking this out if you're doing some research on a property. I'm looking for Cam Sands. There we go. Let's try Cam Sands. Still nothing. Still just for, like, if I do, yeah, and let's do monthly. Yeah, not much fluctuation here at Cam Sands, right? So we're doing 4 average right now, and it was 2, 4, 2, 1. So Cam Sands is just keeps on going. So I'm sorry, I can't find one that's a little more dramatic. Maybe Kihei Villages, something like that, where there's a lot of volume. But you get the point. You can definitely go in here and add a complex. Nope. So it's not showing up. It's not showing up in any dramatic way. And yet I've seen it be very dramatic, but it helps you see and understand a condo. So might be easier if I went and said only in a certain price point, like if I click this, but you know, Cam Sands, that's where they all are anyway. So, or in Kihei Villages doesn't even go that high. Kihei Villages is here. still pretty flat, pretty steady on Kihei villages. All right, so playing around with this is very cool. You can add another element right here, right? You can make another window. If you want to get rid of this line, we just click on the X. Another interesting thing is we can go to something called Fast Stats. Fast Stats is a way cool page to add to your listing or buyer presentation. And you simply pick the area that you want to, that you're going to sell in. Let's say I'm going to Kihei. And I'm going to get this one pager that tells me how July compares to July last year, so 20 to 19, and year to date. How does this year compare to last year? In new listings, pending sales, closed sales, right? And it gives me the percentages. Is it going up or is it going down? Well, on single family, look at that. We have a 38% increase in inventory, July over July. Wow. That's a lot.
Marion, how did you get to the fast stats again?
Oh, I'll show you. It's just a
Thank
button.
you.
It's a button at the top on the blue bar. It says fast stats. There's three. Let me see here. Get out of this. Right up here. See that?
Marion?
You see it, Terry?
She can hear me.
On the blue bar, the third item over on the right. Yes, Anitra.
Okay, I just wanted, before I forget, can you show me after we do this, how to find a neighborhood? Like if I wanted to look up Moana Estates, I can't seem to find that search option.
Okay, yeah, all right, let's do that. So here's the, did I click this? I just wanted to show you that this fast stat, then here's condominium. So we have a 22% decrease in new listings July this year over last year. However, a 1% increase in new listings year over year. So it just looks like July is bad, but so far the year isn't that bad yet. So kind of interesting. Pending sales, how are those doing? Down 55%. Year to date, down 38% on condos, right? So condo sales definitely impacted. Closed sales down 64%, whereas on single family, closed sales are down 18% July over July and down 22% year to date. So you want to get a quick glance of the market? This is it right here. You want to know what you're talking about for Kihei? Here you go. Right? So pull this up and look at your fast stats. Very handy document. Down here are just the charts that go along with those numbers. And that is a PDF, so you can download it and print it or add it to your presentation. All right, let's just go back here. So here I am back here, and you wanted to add a neighborhood or a subdivision, is that correct?
Yes, thank you.
So let's see if I hit area, what do I get? And what was the name that you came up with?
Let's just do Moana Estates.
Okay, so, well, county, let's take all, let's see if it'll give me a subdivision. No, it's going to give me buildings, but not subdivisions, right? So you can see here it's giving me buildings, but not Moana Estates.
So would I need to draw it? The option where you like circle an area?
Well, that would be in Paragon. There's no way to draw in InfoSparks.
Oh, I just clicked on something. Look like.
Here you go. If you go to My Areas and you click My Areas, so now you're going to go bring the map down to Moana Estates. And now you can map satellites.
Okay.
Now you're going to define an area. So how do we do that? You can do a polygon or a circle, right?
Okay. Yeah, I see that now. Okay.
And then you can save it. You name it, and you should be able to then save it, right? So frequently used areas, it should appear here. Let's see if we can do this. Moana Estates. There we go. It even pinpointed it for me. So now I can say, oh, stop it, stop it. How do I save this? Save. And now I can create an area called Moana Estates. And replace an existing area? No, I'm creating a new area and I can save it. Some of the shapes you've drawn are invalid. Please clear the area and try again. Okay, well, I don't need to do that now. You got that I did that by accident. So, but this is how you can save it. So right here under my areas, I can create my areas. And I love the fact that just putting it in made it come up on the map. Right, pretty cool.
Thank you.
Yeah. But what you just witnessed is, I'm not an expert on InfoSparks. I've never taken a class on it. All I do is push buttons and figure it out, right? You can't break these things. They're totally, you're just going to go back to the beginning and start over if it didn't work. So always just kind of browse around and see, you know, this kind of made sense to me. Oh, my areas, I guess I get to save the areas that I like to look at a lot. That would make sense. And then I don't have to re-establish these searches. So pretty cool, yeah?
Yep, love it.
Yeah, very cool way to study the market and become more familiar. All right.
Marion, I have a question. I have a question
Yes.
about market. Overall, it looks like a fairly healthy market on Maui. Would you say that that's accurate?
Yes, I would.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I would. Surprisingly, right? I mean, 4 months ago, if you asked me what I thought was going to happen, I thought the bottom was going to fall out. I did not expect it to rebound. And it's rebound in part because we have people leaving cities, right? We have people moving here sight unseen. So that's part of what's driving it. Now, how long is that going to go on? I don't know.
Right.
In terms of future, you need to decide for yourself what you see happening in our economy, and ultimately the economy in California. It's all going to impact us, right? So with our high unemployment rate, et cetera, that will continue to have an impact. So, and it will accumulate.
Great. Thanks.
Yeah. All right, DocuSign. We have a dot here for DocuSign. For those of you that prefer DocuSign over the e-sign program in zip forms, you're welcome to connect through DocuSign here. If you're not a DocuSign user, you ignore this. But zip forms and Clarity will work with your DocuSign account. So totally up to you. Here's your NAR membership resources, and I just took a class in which I learned about some cool new resources, so we're definitely going to do a Monday morning on that. Oh my God, I was just like blown away. Here's our Hawaii Association of Realtors website. So again, they have resources available. Check it out. Here's our ramaui.com. This is the public site. If you've never been there, it's a good site to be aware of because this is where the public goes. I mean, this is the most used website for searches in Maui County, interestingly enough. And one of the things you can do here is find open houses. So you go to this page. This is a public facing page. And you take this link and you build it into your website, right? This is a nice service to offer people as to information. Here are all the scheduled open houses that are available on Maui right now. So including your open houses or having the listing agent include the open houses in the open house register. You can see here somebody's doing an open house over and over and over again. and that's how it appears. It goes by day. But there are 21 pages of open houses here. So you might be able to find, you can also search, right, for what you're looking for. So that's our public facing website. Just be aware of that. Here's our membership portal. I don't know what the difference is between the RAM membership portal and this membership portal. We'll have to click a button and find out. Here's classes and events. So always check that out. For those of you that are done with Ignite and have moved on, we do recommend the strategies classes. All the strategies classes are free to you. You can take them for CE and you'd have to pay the CE fee, but there's a strategies class offered every month. So consider that. And then there are other classes, right, offered by RAM, especially now with the CE year. So like I have to go in there and register for my Core B class. I haven't taken Core B yet. Here's the caravan schedule. So I'm going to click on this link because it's good to know about. They took it away. Okay. Well, I guess they've taken it away until they decide what to do with caravan. So the board just had a long discussion about that and put together a task force, and they kind of researched it. How do they want to deal with caravan? Because right now there are caravans happening by escrow companies and they are not being publicized to everybody. So there's been complaints, and the board is now deciding to kind of step in and make sure any caravan is available to all people. So they're working on that. Check for licensed agents, right? If you want to make sure somebody's got their license, you can go here in the state of Hawaii. And for those of you who are waiting your license, you can go there. CE status, very handy to go there and look at whether you are done with CE or not. You need 20 hours by, I guess it's by November 29th. Here's the Maui County property tax link. Here is the flood maps. I'm going to go there. Most of us go to the Maui County property tax site, and we're used to that, but we're not used to going to the flood zone, and it's so easy. So you just hit accept, and you let it scroll, and you go up here and you put in an address. I'm going to put 777 South Hay Road, and when I do that, it'll come up. It actually comes up once I start typing. So I'm going to go to that. And it's going to go there, and I go, yep, this is it. So this is the ocean. Red is the ocean. Definitely a flood zone. So the property I want is right here, but it says click on the structure or parcel of interest. Do not click on the red dot. The red dot doesn't do it. I just want the parcel, and the parcel would be right here next to it. And it then highlights the parcel, and I go, yep. And then I want click to print the report. And I click to print the report, and a PDF gets made. I have to name it first. So yeah, you can, I'm going to download this report. And this is a flood report right there. So you get it. And you can see right here, this is in blue. So right here, this is zone A and E BFE determined. So that means this is a flood zone. And I'm going to show you where there's more descriptions of the flood zone areas. But is this a good thing to print out for all your listings and to have for your buyers? Yes, right? So check it out. This is how easy it is to get a flood zone. Okay. All right, that was flood zone. Then we have Kiva. Kiva is also very simple. So we usually go, let's try for an address, and I'm going to go 2040, and I'm going to go Koa, and it's a road. And I'm going to go for all types, current parcel, and search. And look at that. I get permits. and I can click on the permit and go, well, what is this? This is a B for building permit, and this is for a garage workroom, etc. I love that. In the old days, they had permits that said etc. What does etc. mean, right? Anyway, it's a storage barn. Okay. This was entered in January 27th, 1978 and completed on February 3rd. And the decision was it was issued. So issued means the permit was issued, it's cleared, it's final, it's okay. And I can scroll down and see if there's more information. Not a lot, because this was an old permit, right, from 1978. But
So that's the list of everything that's been applied for and permitted for, you know, way back, obviously. I would think it
No.
would be a very long
No.
list.
no, I have structures that are older than that on my property, and they used to have the permit on here and they took it away. And I don't know why, except that they must have made a decision to own, to go like from a certain date on. So let me explain what's happening to at the county with Kiva. Kiva was very unreliable a few years ago, and the county has decided to install a new zoning and permitting system. Really a big deal, because right now our zoning is done on big rollout maps that are laminated and they're full of stickers. If you ever go to the zoning department and ask for verification on a property zoning, they're going to roll out a map for you. It's like we're back in the 70s or something. So they've decided to upgrade, and the vendor said to them, look, you might as well enter good data, because all of that data is going to get transferred into the new system. So you got to clean up your data. So they went to work. They've been working for the last almost 3 years, cleaning up this data. And what they also found is that there are, I don't know, something like 1,800 properties on Maui that have conflicting zoning information. So they had to contact all those property owners and say, what would you like to be? Do you want to be commercial, or do you want to be residential, or what is this correct? What is going on here? And they have to resolve all those property issues, because they might as well do it, right, to clean it up. So that's what's happening. There is, and I teach a course occasionally that teaches you how to look up the actual handwritten permits, and there you will see older stuff than this. So if you've got structures that were built in 1965 on a property, you would probably not see it here in the automated system. You'd have to go to the handwritten permits. Does that clarify it for you, Deanna?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so that's,
Marion, I have a question, please.
yes, hi, Christy.
How are you? Which part, when you got into this particular page, did you go to the address to look up?
Yeah, I put in my address right here.
So you went into the address and then you press all in it. Okay.
I asked for all, right? And I asked for the current parcel, not historical parcel. If I go to historical parcel, I wonder if I get something different. Nah, nothing. So it's just there.
Okay, thank you.
Now, oftentimes, you know, these programs can be a little quirky. Sometimes the address doesn't work. So go back and ask for it by tax map key and try that, right? You can go back into address and now just fill in the TMK. And that usually works.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Okay, you can also look up by individual permit number. Lots of permit numbers are written on the bottom of the tax record, so people think that that's all the permits. Not necessarily, that's the tax record. The tax department doesn't really care about all the permits, right? So you mustn't trust the tax record for all the permits. This is where you want to go. All right, that's Kiva. Paragon email opt-in. This is important because sometimes you might meet somebody and they say, yes, please send me some information. And you go to send them a link from Paragon and you get an email back and says, this person has blocked their email from Paragon, which means they were getting emails from another agent, and they got tired of getting those emails. And instead of just asking the agent to stop, they simply hit the opt-out button. And now they can't get information from Paragon from anyone. So this button exists so that you can help that client opt back into Paragon. Okay, good to know. Here's our membership roster. Here's the video library. It's sometimes useful, like when we have presenters at the general membership meeting and you want to see, you weren't able to go. By the way, general membership meetings are always worth going to. So try to keep that in mind. Try to attend our general membership meetings. They're usually very informative. And here is our RAM Government Affairs Director's podcast. Also very helpful to listen to him. And I think you can even sign up to get email reminders that he's put in something new. Right now, he's got new information. The whole scare about the Minatoya list being in jeopardy, and that the council was considering making some of those that qualify for vacation rentals no longer qualify. That whole issue has gone away. So thanks to our government affairs director, because boy, did he work it hard. He met with all the council members and he testified, helped them rewrite the ordinance that they're writing. So it's basically at this point a moot point. There is still one issue I have, which is if somebody were to now change to long-term rental, does that in any way impact their use for short-term rental? And that, I still have that question. But at least they're not going to undo what the list did. Okay. Finally, this is a little widget right here. See this box right here? And you can see it's live. It shows sales, price, supply, and days on market. And I can just go over it and it shows me by single family with attached Ohana, with detached Ohana, and condo. And shows me point by point, month by month, what the volume is, right? This is a little widget that you can actually also attach or have appear on your website. So how do you do that? You go into InfoSparks right here. This is an InfoSparks widget. And you share right here. See the share button? That share button says, well, what do you want to share? Do you want to share it on social media or do you want to embed it somewhere? I want to embed it in my website. So I go there and now I can grab the raw data or I can just take an image and hit the share, just follow the prompts and it'll do it for you. So pretty cool. Kind of a neat little statistical widget to have. Okay, that's your tour of the Clarity dashboard. Now we're going to go to Paragon, which is right here.
Marion, how did you get to that widget?
InfoSparks. It's in the front page of InfoSparks. In the middle, where you set the number of months or how you look at the bar graph, right next to it is a share button.
Okay.
So this is a reminder coming up that we have new information or reminder information about advertising listings and reformatted Schedule A service fees and fines and charges. Okay, well, that's good to know. So I might click on that and go, well, what's going on here? This is a document I would show you anyway. Okay, made prettier, I see. So what this says is, yes, if you're not aware, but if you don't follow the rules of the MLS, and by the way, the rule book is 40 pages, organized pretty well so you can find your way through. But if you don't follow the rules, there are fines associated with it. And when you get fined, you're like, oh my God, how did this happen? So if you missed a deadline to enter a new listing or a status change, including an office exclusive listing and including if you sold a listing, it is if you missed it by 3 to 5 days, because we know we have 2 days, right? 2 days, you have 2 days to put in any status change into the MLS, 48 hours. After that, The first 3 to 5 days, if you're late, it's $75. If you're late 6 to 10 days, it's $150. If you're late more than 10 days, it's $250. So pretty substantial. You want to watch that. Input listing without a written listing contract. And how do they know? They audit. They literally randomly audit people and say, could you please send me a copy of your listing? There's a $500 fine. Advertising of an unlisted property or failure to comply with clear cooperation. Look at this, a $500 fine or $250 with the MLS class first offense. So in other words, you have to go take an MLS class. And if it's your first offense with the MLS, then they'll reduce your thing. If it's your second offense, it's $1,000. So don't be promoting an unlisted property in a way that our MLS doesn't allow, right? You get it. Input listing without the seller having legal title to the property, $500. A failure to report the sale of an unlisted property. That's a pretty common one. And we forget that we have an obligation to report to the MLS all of our real estate activity, including when I help my grandma sell her house to my uncle, right? And I just helped them. I didn't list it. I just helped them out. It was a transfer. It was a sale. And if there was actually money exchanged, right, we need to report that. So be aware that you can't do anything as for sale by owner or doing things without listing it on the MLS. So if in doubt, ask your broker. Inputting a duplicate listing, people are tempted to do that. You know, it's a piece of vacant land and it's got a little old shed on it or a little old dwelling. It's just a 1-bedroom, 400 square foot thing and it's ready to fall down. Is this really residential? Like, so people are tempted to put it into, if you get caught, that's $100. First offense, $250, second offense. It goes on, right? I don't want to go on and on here, but you get the idea. Good to know that there are consequences and fines associated with our MLS. Oh, yeah, I get this error report. I think that has to do with my computer. Anyway, I'm just going to show you here this is our bulletin board right here. This is going to tell you the most current, latest stuff that's happening in the middle. At the very top, you get very good links, right? So here's classes events again. Here is open houses. Here's statistics. Here's flood maps. So you can access all the stuff that was on the Clarity dashboard from up here as well, plus some. And here are some news. We've got an installation coming up. It's going to be via Zoom, installing our new board members and president. And that means that Keone is going to be installed as president-elect. And we have Sue Deloria and Michelle Belch both coming in as board members. Sue Deloria is on her second term. So we've got lots to celebrate to support our fellow Keller Williams agents. We also have this cool event. They're just giving us this document shredding. I've got it on my calendar. I am going because I've got stuff under the house that I've had there for years and what am I going to do with it? So this was like a perfect opportunity to clean up. So I'm going to go to the document shredding. Here's how to connect to the mobile app and the fact that that's going to be launching on September 22nd. We have a pretty good app, so we're not so in need of it, but you might check it out. Membership renewal dues are due, right? Just a reminder of that. So you get the point. Here is our
Marion?
Yeah.
I apologize for interrupting. How long are we required to keep our documents for?
Oh, I believe it's 3 years. Like, I know that it's required that you keep the seller's real property disclosure receipt for 3 years. And that's probably the most damaging, or whatever you call it. At this point, our files are in electronic format, right? And I keep my files on my computer, either stuff that I've downloaded. I certainly keep it in, here's how I keep my stuff. So here are my escrows, and here are my listings. If I go further down, right, here's my listings. So I have files on, all my files, all my documents are here. Here's all the documents, and I've got this forever. The list is short because I changed my email address a few years ago. So sometimes I have to go into my old email to find my documents. So, and they're in command. So you can always find your documents. So how much do you actually have that is printed out? You know, probably it's not really essential anymore to keep any of that. It is important to keep your correspondence, which is why I recommend don't get rid of your email, right? Just always have access to your email. So those of you using the KW email, you want to keep that in mind. Someday you choose to move to another agency, your email is going to go away. So I recommend that you use your name at gmail.com and have your KW email forwarded there. But that way you've got an email that you can always use and always have record of your transactions.
Great. Thank you, Marion. And I
Yeah.
just have from something else that you had mentioned before about permits, and you said you had some really some ones that are now no longer in the system. So if you had a buyer and they wanted to, or a seller, and they wanted to do something, would we be in jeopardy as realtors? Would there be any issue because we couldn't substantiate that there were permits for very old buildings?
No, but you must do the research. So like I said, you can access the handwritten, the older permits. They're all in there. You just have to learn how to do that. I'd be happy to show you that. We did that at a Monday morning call a few weeks ago. And I can't remember if I recorded it or not, but I'll have to do it again. And if you want to call me offline, I'm happy to show you how to do that. I don't have time to go into that today, but they're all available. Keep in mind, if you've got a structure that was built in 1950 or the 30s, right? I've had that. There were no permits. The county didn't start permits until about 1965. And they're the most obtuse reasons for permits. And it doesn't get you a permit for something built in 1950. So if it was already established by the tax record, and your tax record is probably going to be the thing that best substantiates it, you go back into the handwritten tax documents, which are the little assessor cards, and those all exist online. And you can prove, look, this property was assessed for this building back in 1948. And you can prove that. You take that down to the county and they go, okay, yeah, you're right. It existed. It's okay. So they'll, you know, let it be now. And you can show that to your client.
Great. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Open house advertising, right? You got to watch that. You can't do it on the MLS. It's one of those things you cannot, in public remarks, say, open house this weekend. Can't do that. So don't be tempted to advertise your open houses on the MLS. Just do it outside. You can put it into the open house roster so that it appears on the public site, but you don't want to mention it in your MLS listing. So there's all sorts of stuff here. Oh, I was going to talk about the July statistics. This is a statistical report that gets sent to you in the email. I open it every time. I read it. I look at it because it helps me get that full picture as to what is going on. It's also a great report to print out and bring to a listing presentation. And if you happen to be talking to the type of person like a C who likes statistics, you might just leave it with them and say, I just thought this might interest you. This is the statistical report for July for real estate on the entire island. And you'd be surprised, people will call you back about it. So this is a very good link. Look for that. And we should be getting the August one. It usually takes about 10 days, right, into the next month before we get the prior month's reports.
Marion, I apologize.
I asked you to interrupt. Go.
We were looking at all the different links RAM, and now we're in something else. I kind of lost how we got there, and we're going in.
No, I'm just scrolling down. I am still in the center. I am just scrolling down, showing you what our bulletin board looks like.
In the center of what?
I'm in the center of Paragon, right here. You see? Do you see it moving?
Yes, I see it moving. Yeah.
Yep, I am in Paragon. This is the front page of Paragon. I am just scrolling the center portion.
Okay.
Okay. Are you able to get into Paragon, Deanna?
I was trying to do it on my other computer while you were talking, and I didn't put in the password correctly. I believe I am. I'll get back to you on that one.
Okay. Okay. So, but you've never actually been in here and browsed around. That's why you're asking.
I think I have, but it might have been the consumer level.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, great. So now where am I going to go? Now I'm going to start at the very top here. At the very top on the top left, see this right here? There's something that is called, if you look closely, it's called a power search. And a power search lets you look up an agent or an address or an MLS number. Very handy, very handy. So if I want to go in here and put 777 South Kihei Road, I'm going to get a lot, and I'm going to just see right away if there's anything active. Look, there is 77 South Kihei Road. I sold a condo there last year. That's how I happen to know the address, is Kihei Resort. So I can choose which one I want to look at. I can see there's some solds and withdrawals. So it might be this one or this one. And I can tell which is the more recent one, the newer one, by the number. This is 388314. This is 388209. So this is an older number, right? This is a more recent number. So I'm going to go to the most recent listing. So it's an easy way to get there. It works great. In the event it doesn't work, we have something over here on the left called a quick search. And your quick search, for those of you that are new to Paragon, if you scroll down, you might be able to scroll down and scroll down and scroll down and scroll down. And there's a lot of options of things that you can search by here. The idea of a quick search is it should be quick. This should not give you every option in the book. If you want all the options available to you to do a search, you would go to the search button. Oh, and by the way, I will show you how to make your search buttons look like a beach if you want. There's lots of options. However, in any case, you've got a button here that's called search, right? And the search button lets you go to, I want to look for residential. And when you click on that, you will now get all the options available to you. Notice that this tab opened here for this residential search, and I'm going to click the X and get out of it. I just wanted to show you that these are all the ways you could be doing a search. So the quick search, yes.
Can you do, in the power search box, can you do multiple searches?
No,
Or
only one address. You can put in a row of up to 10 MLS numbers. And the only thing that needs to separate the MLS numbers is a comma. So if you know, sometimes people send you MLS numbers, right? They say, use the MLS number. Great, okay, fine, let's look those up. Or I can't even think of why, but there have been numerous occasions when I've had to put in a list of MLS numbers in order to get at some listings that I wanted. So it's a handy tool. Yes, you can definitely put in MLS numbers, multiple MLS numbers. But
Thank
you can
you.
only put in one address. All right, so I'm going to go back here to the quick search because this kind of goes in line with having searched for things up here this way. But if you wanted to look at it another way, is to use the quick search. And what I've got for my quick search is the type of property it is. So what does type mean? Well, I click on the little magnifying glass. It's single family or vacant land, right? What type of property? I can choose that. Then it says status. So I can put A. If I just hit the A, I get a whole bunch of options here, don't I? So notice here, it says all active or just active. Now, does anybody know what the difference is between active and all active?
No.
So I want you to always choose all active, because all active includes our two contingent categories. Contingent is either with a release, and that means that the property has an offer on it, but the offer is contingent on the sale of another house or another property, and that there is a release clause. The release clause says, if I, the seller, get another offer, and I like that offer better, I can accept that offer, and I'm going to give you 72 hours notice to clear all the contingencies in our contract and go to closing. If you can't do that within 72 hours, then our contract can be canceled. Well, of course, they can't go to closing in 72 hours because they don't have the money. They haven't sold their house in Wisconsin yet. So it gives the seller the right to cancel and accept this other offer. So properties that are marked contingent with release are totally available to your buyer. It's just got this little delay on it because the seller has to cancel this other escrow, but they're free to do that. So you always want to be aware that properties that are contingent with a release are in fact active. Contingent with escrow canceling means just that. Escrow is being canceled. It takes a few days to cancel escrow. So the seller has already marked it contingent, that escrow is canceling, and it'll become active again in a few days. But in the meantime, it's already really active.
Marion, I have a quick
Marion,
question.
oh,
Yes.
So on my computer, under the search by map, you've got search by map and type. I've got under the search by, just below that is MLS. How do I get to type and status?
Right, me too. Me also.
All right, so do you have a gray bar here? Like, do you have more things when you scroll down that you get a lot more stuff?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm trying to tell you is these are the things that you want, so write it down. Type, status, district, price, and address, and probably agent. And now I'm going to show you that what you can do is you can go up here to this little icon, little tiny icon up here. See that?
Yeah.
It's the customize icon. And this is how you customize Paragon. So you can now see all the things that are on your screen appear on the right-hand column, in the right-hand column box. These are all the things that are there. On the left-hand column box are all the things that could be there. Look how long this is.
Got it.
So what you now want to do is you want to check the things that you do not want, and you're going to remove them. Hit the remove button. I don't want to do that because I like all mine, right? And if you've got things that are not here, but they are over here, let's say you don't have a district button or a status button, I'm going to go down to S, and I will find status. Now, I don't see it here because I've got it here already, right? But right here by status date, right above it should be status, and you can click that and you can hit add. So let's do that with status date. I'm going to add status date, and now I can move this up or down. I can go up, so I'm going to go status and status date. Of course, I don't want the status date, so I'm going to remove it again. But that's how you manipulate the fields that you see over here on the left.
Got it. Okay.
And because this is, I'm going to remove this, because this is a quick search, I encourage you to just make it real simple like this.
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
And then you have to be sure to hit apply and save, right? Just be sure to hit, if you hit it apply, save as, now you're going to name the search. You don't want to do that. Just hit apply and save, and it'll save it for you. And that's the beauty about Paragon. You fix this once, it's going to remember. All you have to do is log in again, and your front page is going to look different than my front page.
Hey,
Very cool.
Marion?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a category of available fields and it's just abbreviated LT. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, that should be land tenure,
Okay, thank you.
right? And
Yeah.
you know what that is, right?
That's
So,
right.
and do you need that in your quick search? Absolutely not. If
Right.
you're looking for just leasehold property, or you want to limit, you're just going to go up here, do a search and do it there, right? If you're going to get that specific. So just keep in mind your quick search is just there for quick stuff.
Marion, earlier for that contingency with the release clause, you said that the buyer would have 72 hours. Is that a default, or do you determine what that time frame is?
No, you determine it. It's a clause that you would write into, you know, what happens is somebody makes an offer and the buyer makes an offer that they have to sell their house in Wisconsin, and the seller might counter back and say, you know, if you don't come up with your money and sell your house in 30 days, I want the right to cancel this. So they might give you 30 days, and then there's this release clause. And the release clause might say 72 hours. 72 hours is pretty common. You can make it 48 or, you know, 100 and whatever. But we tend to say 3 days. If you can't close it, because the whole idea is that the seller wants to be able to cancel. So you don't want to give the buyer more time. You can give them some time up front and then say, after that, I want the right to cancel. Okay?
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Price range is useful here, right? So you can look for a price range. And then, of course, we've got address. And what's useful about address is notice that there's these whole 3 lines constitute the address field. I can ask either for a single address, or I can ask for a range, multiple. And I can literally, if I hit multiple, the other field goes green. And I can now say from 1,000 to 2,000, right? And now I go Hana Highway, and I see what happens when I get that. I'm going to get a whole bunch of whatever. So I can ask for a range. And sometimes that's come in handy when, you know, people call you up and they go, so I'm looking at this house and it's for sale and I'm on ABC Street, but I can't see a street number. Oh, wait a minute, over there, it's, I think that house down there was number 500. So you know that person's in the 500 block or thereabouts. So you might go from, you know, from 50 to 600 and see if you can find the house in that range. It's just another way of searching. It doesn't happen very often. It used to happen to me more when I sat up desk in companies where you sit and the public can call in and people can come in, and you've got people calling and you're the one fielding those questions. So that's when that would happen to me. And then this is the full address here. And then at the bottom, I have agent. Now, the same reason, why do I have agent? Because people call up and say, I'm standing in front of this house and I wanted to ask you about it. Oh, I'm so glad you called. Tell me about the house. Well, it's got a for sale sign. It's listed by Miley Masada. I go, okay, no problem. Let me see here what Miley's got. Miley Masada comes right up, right? And I want to look at her active. So all active. And I see she's got 3 active listings, right? Here's my count right at the bottom. Or for you, it's at the top. If your list is really long, then you won't see your bottom. So there's 3 listings there, and I'm going to hit the search. And I now get Miley's 3 listings, and I go, well, are you, let me see, you must be in Kula. Are you up in Kula? And they go, yes, I'm up in Kula at these land listings. I go, okay, well, there's 3 of them. Can you see, right? So you can now discern which one she's at. Does that make sense? So sometimes being able to call up the agent is useful. Another thing that you might like to do is you go here and you go sold. Now, when you go sold here, this tells you that Miley has had 294 listings. Look at that. Miley Masada. So it's one of the ways to check people out. Okay, so that's your quick search here. I'm going to show you the map search when we go into the search function over here. We will do all that, but I wanted to just point out here, notice this. You've noticed me hovering over here, and what is this? Well, these are my last quick searches, and sometimes what happens is you shut it down and you look for something else, and now you want to go back to that one that you did 2 searches ago. And I go right here and I go, yep, that's the one. And I can just click on that, and it will load that search for me. And now I can go back to that old search. So it's a handy little, lets you get back to something that you were looking at before. Okay. One more thing I want to point out is, so I'm going to pull this up. Okay, so this is kind of a big picture thing. Every spreadsheet that comes up when you do a certain type of search is dedicated to that type of search. So I'm doing a search from the quick search. So my quick search spreadsheets are unique. And if I want to include additional information in this spreadsheet, I can do that. I can modify it. There are probably 8 spreadsheets that you're going to use pretty regularly. So yes, you will learn to modify at least 5 or 6 of your spreadsheets to get them the way you want them to look. And yes, you have to do them over again. So if you do a land search, if you do a condo search, if you do a single family search, those are, for instance, the primary ones. Here's the quick search, right? If you do one in CMA, I can't even think of some of the other ones, but you can customize each one of those, and Paragon will remember your preferences. And how do you do that? Same way again, you go to the customize button right here, and we're going to customize the fields. And on the right, in the right-hand column, are all of the fields that are included in this spreadsheet. And on the left are all the items that could be included. So if I'm missing something, I can go alphabetically down this list and see if I can find it and click it and add it, right? Notice here it has a short label, right? And a short value. I do that sometimes because I don't need the column width to spell out the whole thing. I get what SQFT means, right? So I've got it set for short labels so as make the columns narrower and fit more on a page. So this is the same way. You can just add something, right? We add it, click it, we add it, it gets added to the bottom. I can now click it and I can move it up or I can move it down. And then I want to save. I'm going to show you this again because it's going to come up again for other spreadsheets, but I wanted you to just kind of get a sense for that you can modify this. Okay, so again, here I am in the quick search tab, and I'm just going to get out of that. Click on the X, and I'm back to my front page. This, by the way, here says that there are some MLS messages. They're not urgent. If they're urgent, they're red. And I have an expiring notification. So that means somebody was getting auto notifications and their auto notifications are expiring. So I can click on that and get to that auto notification directly and choose to extend it or not extend it. Pretty handy. Okay. I am now going to go over here to the right side of our home screen right here. And we have 3 widgets here that are in perfect order because the top one is very handy. The middle one is also very handy. The bottom one, somewhat handy. Let me show you what they are. The top widget, and by widget means you can literally make it go away, right? It's just a little counter kind of thing, is the market monitor. This to me is one of the most useful documents and useful bits of information. And at a glance, I can tell you how the market's doing. So it has 4 tabs. The first one is My Info. You can see that market is what's highlighted, so it defaults to market. So this is telling me the market, the way I have this set up. And the way I have this set up is, this is single family and condo and land only, no commercial, no fractional, no all that other stuff, just those 3 categories for the past 7 days. So in the past 7 days, there have been 97 new listings. There are 12 expired listings. There are 50 price changes. And here's hot list. Notice that there's 351 items on hot list. We tend to call this whole thing the hot list. If you actually go here, I have no idea what the change is on that thing. It's all of those items combined, not all, not the pending, but there could be typos people fixed, or they added new pictures, or they took off pictures, or they changed the description, or they corrected something. It's all the changes in MLS appear here. So nobody actually goes to the hot list. We all go to the specific categories, right? The next one is sold. So we've had 71 sales in the last 7 days, and we are at 436 pending. It is this number, the pending number, that to me is the most important because it tells me right now what's going on. The sold number tells me, okay, about 45 days ago, these things all went pending, right? But here I can watch what is actually in escrow. So this number is low, but it's not as low as it could have been. It was in the low 300s back in April. So it's gone back up to 436. It should be closer to 500 for a really robust market. And you'll notice that over time, it changes seasonally. So here we are going into September. We can expect a little dip come October, right? September, October is our shoulder season. November, we can expect our market to get a little quieter. Same thing in spring. And every spring I hear people say, oh my God, the market is changing. Oh my God, we're losing business. What's going on? It's spring. It's okay. So you just have to kind of get used to those rhythms, right?
So Marion, I have a quick question. I have different numbers on,
Yeah.
on this. So I have 473 pending.
Yes, I understand, Kumar. As I explained, I have mine set for only 3 categories, 3 types of listings. You've got all in there, and I'm going to show you how to change it.
Got it. Okay.
Excellent. Good question. The next thing I want you to see is what the other tabs mean. So the first one is My Info. This is the fastest way to get to your listing. So I have 2 listings. So I can go to this 2. You can either click on the word or the number, not the bar. So some people go like, it's not working. No, you got to actually click on the number. See when the hand comes up? So it's a little fussy that way, but just so you know. So I can go straight here, and here are my 2 listings, and I can tell they're my listings because they're written in red, and that's how Paragon identifies my listings. Even in a whole list of listings, it would show mine as red. So the quickest way to get to your listings is right here. The next tab after there's market would be next, right? And then we've got office. So I am out of the Kahului office. The Kahului office has 70 listings. We have 17 pending, and we have 53 active. So if I wanted to look at all those listings, I could just click on that, And here comes another one of those spreadsheets, right? A unique spreadsheet out of the Office Monitor. And I wanted to do open houses for people in Kahului. I can now hit district and see where these listings are. And I might call Joanne Carter and say, Joanne, do you need somebody to do open house for you at the Legends? I see you've got a listing there. I'd love to do an open house for you. This is how you find the agents in your office to do open house. I'm going to get out of this list. And the next tab here is firm.
Marion, could you change offices like Whalers Village?
No, it's your office because Paragon has you assigned to an office, right? So it's the office that you're assigned to that's going to come up. However,
Okay.
watch the next tab.
Thank
Here
you.
is firm. Firm means the whole company. So for those companies that have more than one office, now all the offices, and if I click on firm, there are 295 listings, of which 41 are pending, right? So I'm going to click on the 295 and I get the entire company's listings. Again, this is a spreadsheet that I can design. And I have all my spreadsheets set up this way. MLS number first, the status, the days on market, the district it's in, building name, address, unit number. Sometimes I reverse those, whatever. Subdivision. For those of you that were on the call yesterday morning, it's kind of handy to have subdivision name because those agents that enter it, thank you very much, you can at least verify what subdivision it's in. And I do a lot of, I like knowing things about a property. So I've got the original price and the list price and the list date. And then if it's under contract, I have the contract date and then the sold price here as well, right? So that's because I do a lot of searches for CMAs. And so I pull active, pending, sold. And then I've got the agent's name here. So this, when it says agent's name, it's always the listing agent's name. And here is the listing office, right? Do I really need that? Not for my firm, but this is also the spreadsheet probably for the general one. So
Marion?
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No.
Where did you find, I missed it, the open house? If you wanted to know where your, like someone in your office or firm is holding an open house and you can contact them and say, hey, do you need, help with an open house?
No, I'm looking at the list right now. I'm going to organize it by district because I want to do an open house in Kihei. So I'm going to scroll down to Kihei. After all this Ka'anapali stuff, I need to go to the next page because this is 3 pages long, this list. And here we go, and scroll down, and here's Kihei. And I go, oh, I would love to do an open house at Kahalimakai. And that is Karen Patag. I'm going to call Karen and see if I can do an open house there. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Great, great. So if you now click on this listing, right, and open it up, there is Karen Patag's phone number, and you can just reach out to her. You could also just send her an email by watch this. I can click her email address right here, and an email comes up that is called the subject line regarding the MLS listing, blah, 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 at South Kihei Road, etc. And I can say, hi, Karen, I would love to do an open house at this listing for you. Is it available for me to do an open house? Or are you planning to do one? And I'd love to come and shadow you and learn more about this listing. And you've sent her an email. Isn't that handy, right? You hit send.
Thank you.
Okay, cool. In order to get back, by the way, in Paragon, you do not want to hit the back button of your browser. You want to hit this red back button. Like, I want to get back to the spreadsheet. I'm in this listing, right? I want to get back to the spreadsheet. You must learn to hit the red back button. You'll do it wrong for a few times in the beginning, and then you get the hang of it. You'll see that your browser right? When you hit the browser button, you're talking to your computer. We want to talk to the computer and I don't know where it is, wherever it is, and tell it that we want to go somewhere else. So this is how I would search for open houses. This is how I would figure out where do I want to do an open house and call all these people or send them an email and say, is this available for open house? Pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to get out of that. So remember, I'm going to show you how to set this up the way I've done it or set it up for whatever you want. This box, the next widget here is your contact activity. And I've got 0 set, which means, well, I don't know. Oh, that means there's nothing new in here, but I do have Felice set up on a, oh, I just went blank. What's it called? Collab Center site. So you're going to go, what is the Collab Center? Well, the Collab Center is a website set up for your clients specifically for their search. So I'm going to show it to you. You've all seen this when you pull up a listing on your phone, right? It does this. So, ooh, I must have slow internet right now. Oh dear. I wanted to show you. Okay, I think it's stuck. I'm going to try one more time. The beauty is that I could go here if my internet were working properly and open up the site and see if Felice has given me any indications. She can show me listings that have come up and tell me that she loves them or she's not sure or she doesn't like them. Here we go. Whoop-de-doo. So we have 54 new listings, or actually of those 40 are new, 7 are price change, 7 are status change. And of the all these listings, she's marked 49 as undecided. She marked 11 as that she liked them, 7 she wasn't so sure, and 2 she outright rejected. So I can go here and find the 11 that she loved. Now, this is a little older, so these are probably all going to be sold listings. So, and you can see right here that it's sold, and she can see this too. So what happened was I set her up for this search, and we communicated this way as she was approaching her visit to Maui. And when I said, okay, you're coming next week, which units do you want me to set up for you to see? And she said, all the ones I love. Well, by the time she was coming, all the ones she loved were pending or sold. So I said, well, that's not going to work. How about the ones that you were not sure about? She goes, yes, that would be my next category. So we ended up looking at a number of the properties that were marked, I'm not sure, right? And it taught her a big lesson that looking in advance or too far in advance is not really very helpful. It teaches you the market, but you're not going to be able to get into those units because they will be gone, right? And here again, so most of them are sold. So what do they look like when they are new and active? Well, here's an active one. So I can just click on the picture to get the full listing. Here's all the pictures. So I can just click through through the arrows. And here's all the description of the property from the MLS. And she and I can communicate right here. She can make a comment right here and submit it. And I can make a comment right there and send it back to her. So we can actually communicate in here. It's a pretty cool service. I would say at this point, for those of us in Keller Williams, we've got that through Command. So you're going to want to learn what Command does here and how you can provide the service that way as well. But good for you to know at least what this is, right? So that's, it would tell me here if she had made comments, right? Because it says comments, do I have any? Did anybody put in a new search, right? So, and that's what this widget is. And then this widget is a calendar. I don't use the calendar, it's kind of clunky, but it's really nice to know what date it is. Here it is, September, oh my gosh. The 1st of September. So that's what that's handy for. And next, we are going to go back to our top here and we're going to review the top, but we're going to take a 7-minute break. So everybody go get some fresh coffee or something and be back in 7 minutes. It is, I have 10:29, so be back at 10:36.
Okay.
I'm gonna start to cut up the veggies and stuff.
It was pretty interesting, the class today. I learned a bunch of, well,
Yeah.
I'm always learning stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've taken this class before at RAM.
It seems like you highlights different things.
Yeah.
Too, right?
Yeah. And also stuff has changed. You know, they've sort of updated a couple of things, but yeah, no, it's just to refresh my memory, but I need more than refreshing. And I did ask a couple of questions, but you know, I need to, I mean, I haven't really played around like InfoSparks. I haven't played around with that in a long time. Anyway, yeah, so I don't know what you need right now, but I am going to just cut up some of the veggies and get ready for food. So by the time this is over at 12, maybe you'll have food. So,
yeah, okay.
unless, but I mean, as far as munchies, there's bananas, pears, I have chicken.
Oh, are there bananas? Because I had the last
Yeah,
one. Back
okay,
there.
I'll go get that.
No, I'm talking to you, Jeannie. Fuck.
Yeah, I want to be back for the class, so if,
So that guy Brad Martin, that, you know, he asked how the election is going.
who's Brad Martin again? Please refresh my memory.
He wanted to borrow the chipper, you know, or rent the chipper. We went over to the place. Yeah. Church late at
Okay,
night.
Brad,
Yeah, so he's like all, oh, what's going on with the elections?
Uh,
I'm just, people are just idiots, right?
you can just say, well, it's over. The primary is over.
Yeah. Thanks for your support. I mean, you know, yeah.
But you know, something that Marion said, and I think it applies to so many things, is that, was it Marion or no, was it on my 8 to 9 o'clock Zoom call? Oh shit, I left my recording on. That means 7 minutes of blank space. Okay, but I'm in here now, and you don't want me to leave?
No, I just wanted to tell you that thing about Brad. That it's just
Yeah.
like, here's a guy that, you know, was like telling me months ago, oh, we gotta vote for, you know, Republicans.
Mhm.
And then, you know, he asked me questions about my policies, this and that. We go back and forth,
Mhm.
And now he's asking me how the election's going. And I'm just going,
Well,
you know.
You can say.
No, I want to, but I'm not going to get any real estate business or
Right,
invited to any
right,
parties if I
right,
tell
right.
people they're
So
fucking stupid as shit.
Yeah, one of the things that is what's her name, Lindsay McKissick, that was pretty good.
All right. Everybody back? Nah. Rosalina, I didn't see you join us. Hi, Rosalina.
Hi, Marion. It's always good to refresh.
Yes, it is. Always.
And I always like you teaching, so I always love the class.
All right. Thank you. All right, here we go. Back to sharing my screen. All right, so we are now going to go just quickly across here over at the very right. Keep in mind that when you want to log out here because you want to tell this computer wherever it is that you want to log out. By the way, Paragon will log you out after 2 hours. And if you want to track that, there's a counter right down here in the lower left. Like I've got an hour and 46 minutes left because I haven't really done anything for 15 minutes, I guess. So you can always tell where it's at, but usually you come back to your desk and you're logged out. You can compose an email here. I don't really use this. If I want to compose an email, I'm just going to go to my email, right? I'm not gonna do it from Paragon. I send emails from Paragon, but they're all related or have listings attached to them. So that's why I do that, but not here. MLS documents. This is a pretty handy place to know. And actually you need to know that this is here. And I'm just going to go over a couple of things. The first one is the affiliate roster. So this is a good example of how Paragon works. I'm in the main tab here called MLS documents. And now I'm in the MLS folder here, but I've opened another folder called affiliate roster. So the affiliate roster, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, is a great roster of all the companies that are affiliated with RAM. So they pay membership dues and we work with them. So these are appraisers and lenders and home inspectors and cleaning services and contractors and attorneys and you name it. And if you want to know about some, vendors here, this is the list to go to. Now there's other people obviously that we work with also that choose not to be members, but this is a darn good start. And here's our escrow companies and the contacts, right? So really good information here. So keep that in mind. This is a great source for you. So now I'm going to go back to the MLS folder. And what else have I got here? A data input form. Well, we've got data input forms in our zip forms, right? Data input forms are the MLS listing input forms. The DCCA change form. This is always one of those things like, oh my God, where do I get one of these? It's right here. So this is if you want to change companies or if you've changed your name or if you need to change your address, right? You need to let the DCCA know. They're the ones that are your licensed entity and they need to know these things. So this is where you get this change form. Fair housing forms and information is here. So if you need more information and need to share with somebody about how fair housing works, here's some information. Flood zone descriptions. I told you I was going to show you some additional documents that help, and I print these out or I make these available with a flood zone map. There's two different ones here. So one is from Realist CoreLogic, and pretty good. And so it defines, what did we have? We had an AE zone right down in Kihei there. So this says areas subject to a 1% or greater annual chance of flooding in any given year. Base flood elevations are shown as derived from detailed hydraulic analyses. So this is a pretty high flood area if there's more than a 1% chance, right? According to actuarial tables. So this helps to read and have access to these descriptions and provide them with the flood zone. You can see that. The other one is from, it's a similar document. Oh, no, they took the other one away. So this is a zoning and flood confirmation form. So this is something that you can fill out right here online, and then you can, you might have to, no, you should be able to fill it in, and then you email it to, right, you have to print it or save it as a PDF, and then you can email it to this website, and they will answer you down here, and they tell you what the zoning is, and they tell you what the flood zone is, and confirm that for you. So this is how agents confirm zoning and flood zone information. Okay? Very handy document to know about. And you don't have to fax it, you can email it. Also good to know. Okay. So notice here, I've now got 3 tabs open here, 3 sub-tabs in MLS documents. So I could keep opening them, right? But I don't have to. I can also get out of them. I just wanted you to see that this is how this works. And if you're in here looking for something and suddenly you go, oh, I need to do a search, you can go to search and open a search, and a new tab opens. And now you've got a search going, and you can still go back to your MLS documents or whatever else you've got going on. If you've got a residential search, you can also add a new search. Look at that. So now I'm going to add a new search, right? So there's just a lot you can do here. See, so I've got 2 searches open here. Here's the criteria, right? I can have 2 different residential searches going. So it's the tab system. Good to know about. All right, what else is in our MLS documents? I can get out of here. Is guest speaker presentations. Okay, here's all of our forms. Here's the brokerage forms from HAR, commercial forms, property management forms, and residential forms. We tend to work mostly with residential forms. Why are they here? They're all in zip forms. We use them in zip forms. But just in case you needed one quickly, you could get it here. There is one in particular that you want to get from here. When a client asks you for a lease, a rental agreement that they can sign with their new tenant because they now bought a house that's got a tenant in it, you can give them the HAR rental agreement. However, don't take it from zip forms. If you've noticed, your zip forms have your name and Keller Williams at the bottom of the first page. Since you're not the property manager, you do not want to give a rental agreement that has your name or the company name on it. So you simply go here and you pull out the rental agreement and you print that out, and the bottom is going to say the Realtors Association of Maui. So give that one away. Okay, what else is here? MLS agent and office forms, MLS change order forms. So this is where you go for, this is the change order for making changes to a listing. So it's an MLS change order form. So if you've got a price change or you're changing the cancellation, the term of the listing, that you would do with the change order form. MLS data dictionary, okay.
Marion?
Yeah.
There are 2 change order forms. Do you recommend one over the other? One has your seller's name that you could put in, and the other does not, and there's a $5 fee thing on it.
So there's one for the client, right? So this one is for the client to sign.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Here's you, and here's the seller's name, and here's the company name, and your contact, the MLS number, and the address, and then all the blanks of what you can do. The other one is an instruction to RAM to make the change for you. You understand? Right. So this is $5 staff input charge per change order form. Right there, it tells you that they're going to charge you for staff to make the change for you. Make sense?
Yeah. I mean, I actually recently did that, the form, but I did change it myself on the MLS, but I used this one to get the seller to sign.
Well, you used the wrong one.
Okay, thank you. I know for next time. Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Though, because I have to agree with you, but it says here, this one's for the client and this one's
Yeah.
for RAM.
Okay,
You want the one for your client.
client, yeah.
Good.
Oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah, okay. I let Larry know. Thank you.
Oh, you don't need to let Larry know, but because you did it yourself, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Reciprocal listings. This is if you've got a listing on the Big Island, or if someone from the Big Island wants to list a Maui property, how does that work? MLS rules and regulations. The fee schedule is here as well as the MLS rules. So if you want to remind yourself, how much am I going to owe them? What is that schedule? It's right here. Paragon access level, that doesn't really pertain to you. That's more for the brokerage. If you hire an assistant and you want an assistant to have access to the MLS, there's a level for assistants and it is less expensive for them to join the MLS. So, but it gives them full access to the data. The condo list, Paragon sample documents. This is for the Collab Center. These are sample ways to fill out the website. RAM member applications, don't need that. Here's more central lock information. Here is the TMK zone map, and just in case you needed it, right? This tells you what the numbers are. So where is 227, etc. So it tells you where the regions are and what the numbers are for those regions of tax map key. And then the last one is, again, the zoning and flood zone confirmation form. It's the same form as we saw up here. It's just in two places because so many people look for it, either under Z or flood, F for flood zone. That's it up here. Important area of our MLS. You'd be surprised how often I have to send people here. Okay, that takes us to preferences. We're going to go to preferences right here. And you have a choice here. We can either set your preferences directly by going through these tabs here, and you can go back in there anytime and make changes, or you can use the preferences wizard. And you know what a wizard is, it takes you through. Well, so the wizard is always there. Notice also there is a wizard to set up your Collab Center. So if you want to try to use that Collab Center, you have to go there because you have to set up a website and learn how to use it. And here is a CMA preferences wizard. That is for this CMA here, this CMA button, so that you can learn how to do that. You don't actually, it probably helps to do it once, but once you've done it, you don't need to do it again. I don't even get this. I have tried to go into some of these are relatively new links. They are for you to totally customize stuff, and you need to know like how to write HTML. I don't know what all, but it was way too complicated for me, so I didn't go in there. You're a computer geek, you might enjoy this area. So I'm just going to take you this way. So we're going to start out with user. And under user, the first thing you want to do, very top, see, we're going to go down this list here on the left-hand side. See that? We are in Office logo. So you want to upload your Office logo so that your Office logo appears on reports. And how do we do that? Well, we can go to Update Office Logo, like you might have the big R there or something like that. And that's going to take you to your library. And when you've got a library as old as mine in Paragon, it really lets you see your hairdos over the years. Kind of handy that way. In any case, you find the logo that you've uploaded here and you go, I want this one. And when you see it surrounded in orange, it's ready to be uploaded, and you can say insert image, and you simply hit insert. Now you say, how do I get it here? You hit the upload image button. And when you do that, like you would expect, it lets you either drag a file here, or it lets you go to your start upload, add a file, go to add a file, and your computer browser window will come up, and you can search for, like if you've got the logo on your desktop or wherever you've got it, you can simply go there, hit open, and it will bring it here. And then you hit the upload the image, and it will get added to your library. You find it in your library, you click on it, and now you hit insert image.
Marion, I just tried to do that and I got an error message, forbidden access is denied.
Forbidden access, you're in Office logo,
Yes,
and it won't let you upload an Office logo.
no,
All right, so that would be an access level issue. I would call Larry.
okay,
So just so everybody understands, Larry at RAM is a full-time employee for the Realtors Association of Maui. He is our help desk. So up here where it says help, I don't even go there. That is a, you know, one of those, what do you call those? Like a blog and a community that you can ask questions of. Don't do that. You just call RAM and ask for Larry. He is our help desk, okay? So I don't know why it would do that, Jeannie, that you'd want to look into that. That is his domain. Next is your agent image. And
Thank you.
again, for some reports, you're going to want to have your image on there. So same process, right? Is update the photo. It takes you to your library, and now you can add to your library, and you can hit the photo. The one that's orange will be the one that's chosen, and you can hit insert image. All right. Login maintenance. I can't remember if there's anything to be done here. I tend to think not. If nothing even comes up, well, that answers that. And mobile account settings, it's just your phone number, so you can check that. Next is my system preferences. So the first thing here, and here we go, Kumar, here is the market monitor. So under system preferences, the first item is the market monitor. Now notice what I've got set up here. I have class. I go to the hourglass, but not the hourglass, the, what do you call it? Magnifying glass. And I chose residential, vacant land, condominium, and multi-dwelling residential only. No rental, no fractional, no business, and no commercial. So that's one thing I did to limit what my count tells me. If yours is blank here, you're including all those other items. And then I went to district, and I simply, again, pulled on the magnifying glass, and I read down here, and all I did is I selected all of them. And then I went down and I said, I unselected Lanai and I unselected Molokai. I don't really sell over there. If I did, I can certainly still search for it. It's just not coming up as part of my market monitor. And then over here, I went type. And now I just made sure that all the types I wanted are included. So that would be single family with a detached ohana, with attached ohana, vacant land, no commercial leases, no business. I want condo. And then again, I want multi-dwelling, attached ohana, condo, cottage, house, all these different categories. Yep, I want all of those, and I hit save. You gotta always hit save, right? So that's how my market monitor is now set, and I've got which one comes up for me. When I first open my Paragon, I can choose. My info can come up, or market, or office, or firm. I choose market monitor, the market. That's what I like to see. And here I can set the number of days. Now, when I'm in the front page of Paragon, I can always, see, I can go there. I can always go here and change the number of days and say, just show me what happened today. Right? So I can see just today if I want to, but it'll default every time I go here, it will default to whatever number I have set here. And I've asked for 7 days just because I don't go into Paragon all that often. And I like to see 7 days worth of activity. Feels like it tells me more. So that's what I've done. And I hit save. And you get this green box over here on the right that says success. Your preferences have been saved. Next, I'm going to go down on the left-hand side again, search options. Hello, hello, calling all search options. There we go. All right, the only one that I can think of that's important here is the parcel layer. On the parcel layer, make sure you've got, when you go on the down, the list here that you get on this little arrow, that you want lines only. TMK number is too much information, and we do not search by TMK number, so I don't recommend it. And none, you don't get to see the parcel layers. So you get to actually see the parcel layers on the maps that you pull up. It's very handy. So be sure it says lines only. And that's really all you can do here. I believe the saved search page size is set for 100. If not, you should set it for 100. I think that's its maximum. And that is good. All right, I'm going to move on to results options. Slow today. Oh my goodness. All right, here we go. And do I have anything here? Ah, yes. What is my default double-click report? Now, if I go home and what they're talking about is I have a spreadsheet in front of me and I double-click on that, on a listing, what is the view that comes up? My default view is the agent listing synopsis, no map. I don't like the little map. I don't like the layout. Everything is smaller on the layout that's got the map. And you say, well, how can we see that? You go over here to reports. And in reports, you have all these sections that you can take a look at. So we're got a spreadsheet section. This is my favorites, but we've got details. So we look at all the detailed reports we could possibly have. And here is, I've got it up here already, agent listing synopsis. The plain agent listing synopsis has the map in it, and it looks like this. The reason I don't like it is because I can get the map on the other view. It's just not, I don't need it this size over here. I prefer a bigger map, and I don't prefer this layout. So I like the agent listing synopsis, no map. And that's what it looks like. So by going to the default area in my preferences, I can choose which is my default view when I double click on a listing on a spreadsheet. And you can go to the pull down menu and you can choose. Now notice here you can also get customer views. You do not want customer views because while you're looking in the MLS, you want to be able to see who the agent is. Customer views always have your name at the bottom of them. So those are the things that you're going to email to your clients or email to other people, right? Are customer views. While you're looking at the MLS, you want to know the listing agent's information. So agent listing synopsis or agent listing synopsis, no map. When you send a manual email means not an auto notification. On auto notification, you get to select the view again. But when you send a manual email, what is the default view that you want to send? And I send the customer listing synopsis, no map. I'm going to show you again. The map icon is right here. So I can get to the map in the customer or agent listing synopsis, and I get a larger map, right? Here, by the way, is a good indication of you get all these little property boxes, so you can see that there's subdivisions here, right? You can see this is a larger parcel, must be a condo. So those are the lines we were talking about earlier. So that's my preference. I'm just showing you that because it asks you to set this default right here. So choose one. And if you don't like it, you can always go back and change it, right? And here's the default tour on search results. You just leave it the way it is. There's our phone number again for preferred phone number. And the rest is all default, and that is just fine. So next I'm going to go to user interface. Yes.
That phone number would be your phone number, not the market center, correct?
Unless you want people calling the market center.
Yeah, no, okay, just, I mean,
No.
the way it was worded, I just was double checking.
Always your phone number.
Okay,
Always.
great.
Always. Unless it specifically asks office phone number and then your phone number. Okay, fine, but yeah. All right, we are now in user interface, and this is where you get to choose right on the top, select the theme. I am in the beach theme, but you can go to spring. Spring is pretty cute, kind of looks like Easter to me. You can go to winter. This is kind of Christmassy. So you can select whatever. You can just go to a color, right? You can just select blue or purple or whatever. Orange, let's go to orange, good for Halloween. So I have the beach theme, and you can select yours. That is all that is selectable here. Contact manager is next. Contact manager just says how many contacts on display. Again, I choose the largest amount. Next is time zone. You shouldn't need to change anything there. Next is calendar, and you shouldn't need to change anything there. On report views, I believe we have no additional things to do. Yeah, this is just all preset. So this is just all, you don't need to worry about report views. We can close that down, but we need to go to email. So let's go to email down here. We'll shut these so that we are further at the top. And the first thing we're going to do is notice that you've got a little sub-tab called message body and another sub-tab called email signature. Let's go to email signature first. Now you'll notice that there is an add new button. You've got an add new button. I've already got some signatures up here, so I am not going to record this or save it because I've already got a bunch of signatures. But this is what you get, right? This is the default signature. So the first thing you want to do is click on the R. You don't want that R there. You want to replace that R. So we're going to go to, once you click on it, it's a little hard to see, but the picture icon up here, see it? It lit up. It kind of lit up. It's really hard to see. Find the picture icon up here in the toolbar, and you click on the picture icon. And now it says, I want to insert something. Well, where do I get it? And here's a little, be sure to watch my screen. This is a little hard to find. You need to go to this little icon right here. The little icon at the end of the source line. Click on that, and it's going to take you to your library. And now you can click on your picture, and you can say, insert image. And the image should appear here. I don't see it. Insert image. Insert image. See if it comes up. Yep, it did. There it is. So I've inserted my image. Now you can also click on this whole area, and it's kind of like if you've ever worked in Publisher or PowerPoint, right? You get these 4 boxes that kind of define this is the area. You can change things in here. You can highlight this and make yourself, you know, make the typeface a different color, right? You can make it a different size. So let's make it 14. And let's make it, maybe I can make it italic. And I want to highlight my signature. Ooh, now it's fussy like this. So you got to be really gentle with this program. So I'm going to highlight my phone number, and I'm going to make it bold. And then I'm going to go by my name, and I'm going to put a comma, and I'm going to go realtor broker, right? And I might even go 18060, That's my license number. And I'm going to shrink that. I don't need my license number that big, and I don't need it bold. So there we go. Realtor broker 18060, my license number. So you see where I'm going. I'm playing around. Now it's got me as Keller Williams Realty Maui -Ka because I'm centered in Kahului. So the MLS identifies that. I don't want that in my signature. Take that out of there. So I'm going to take that out. Okay, that's good. I like that. Except I really would prefer my name to be in blue. So I'm going to go blue. Okay, here we go. All right, and now you need to name this. You need to name this signature Deanna's default signature. And then you want to hit the default signature icon right here, the checkbox, right? This is going to be the default signature that's going to appear on all the emails that come out of Paragon from you. It's going to be automatically inserted. Very handy. And then you hit save. Okay? Be sure to name it and hit it as default and save. You can always go back to it. Look at all my signatures here. Here's my KW signature. This is my default signature. I want to, the default has been changed. Do you want to save? And I go cancel. I do not want to save. Here's my default signature as it stands now. I don't have my license number on here. I'm going to add my license number. You don't have to have your license number on your email, right? It's not a requirement. So I guess I didn't do that. Okay, there we go. There's my license number. I like to do it anyway. So, all right. So now I need to save that because I made a change to it, right? And up over here, I get the success. You have successfully saved. So you can name your signatures. This was an old company I worked for. I don't know why it's still there. Here is, I must have made a new one called My Signature. Here's Marion's test signature. You can have several in there. You don't need them all. You just need the one that you currently use. Okay, that's your email signature. And by the way, while I'm on email signature, you must now also have a signature in your email. You can either ask Sam for a pretty one, right? And that she's going to give you that pretty black box with your picture and everything in it, or make your own. I just make my own. When I do a new email, this is what mine looks like, right? I have put my logo in here. I've got all my information. You must have all your information in your email. To be a professional, you want to list your name, your company, your contact information, your website, whatever else you want, phone number, of course. Do that and use that email for everything, for everybody. When I talk to my brother and sister, this email address and footer appears because I want to remind everybody at all times that I'm a realtor. So, good thing to do. All right, so we've done our that. The next thing we're going to go to is something called the message body. Now, I have a message body. This is Marion's standard message body. In other words, when I do auto notifications, this is the message that appears in the email because I don't want to send a blank email. I think that's a little weird if it just is blank with my picture. And so it says hi, and I can set it up. I would, when I set it up, and I'll show you how to do that, I would add the person's name. So it would say, hi, Deanna. And then it says, this link takes you to a new or revised listing that meets your criteria. Let me know if you would like more information or if you wish to preview a property. Aloha, Marion. And then my signature that I've just set up is going to appear below there. Okay, so this is my standard message body, and I checked the default box again. I want this to go every time I send an auto email notification. Okay. This link takes you to a new or revised listing that meets your criteria. Let me know if you would like more information or if you wish to preview a property. Hugs and kisses, Marion. Okay. So let's just look here. What else have we got under email? Email options. I'm not sure that's really, yes, there is a question. Would you like to automatically be blind copied on the emails that you send out? And I check that box as yes. That means that I'm going to get copies of the emails that I send out of Paragon into my email. And the reason I like that is I've got a category in my email called new clients. And when I send them things that I think are particularly good listings, I save it in that file so I can easily access it. Now I can also do that here, and we'll get there. I'll show you that. Display the property address, default notification recurrence. Don't even know what that is. Oh, this is if I set the auto notification to recur, what is it set at? Mine is set up to go daily, every day at 2 o'clock in the morning. And I figure if I've got somebody on the East Coast, that means they get it at 8 a.m. That's good enough for me. So I just send, you know, it goes for once a day. You can set it for once a week. But as my standard, I set it at once a day. When I set somebody up for an email notification, I can change this. And I go, oh, this person only needs an update once a week. So this is just as a standard. Okay. All right, that takes us down to the Collab Center. I am not going to show you how to use the Collab Center today. Use the wizard to do that and find your own way through that if you want to set that up here. But I would really advise us to take a look at what Command has to offer in that regard. And that way you're, you know, you've got the Keller Williams identifier on there and it goes directly through Command and is tracking through Command. Okay. Tax reports, that's okay, and CMA, that's okay. We don't need to go in here and set that up. So that is our preferences. So I am now going to get out of all of this and click out, and I'm done with setting my preferences. So if at any time you want to go in here and change something, just browse around and go, yeah, I want to change my email. So you can get back in there and do that. Okay?
Okay.
Next is resources. This is really the Clarity dashboard repeated. So if you wanted to go to Realist directly, you could do that from here. You can go to Zip Forms, RPR, right? It's the same as the dashboard. Next is membership. If you want to look somebody up, this can be handy. So you go to the roster and you can just go in here and you say, there's this agent, Marion Haller. Is she even a part of our board here? So I go in and I go Haller. Does she come up? No, it doesn't come up that way. So I guess I have to put the whole name. And I hit count. Whoops, and there's one. So now you're going to get Marion Haller's kind of card and information. So it tells you right here, she's with Keller Williams. Here's her office code. She's a realtor broker. And there's her license number. So you can click on her and get her information. So now you get her picture and you get her email address and you get her phone number. And some people put their home address. There you go. There's her office address, right? Or you click on the company and now you can get company info. So this is going to tell you, here's the brokerage. Here's our license number, right? And that's useful sometimes. Here's our phone number. Here's where the office is located, the principal broker, et cetera, et cetera. So you can learn a lot by going into this agent roster and putting an agent in there to find out about somebody. Next is tax information. Don't bother going there. There's just a couple of links. You get it within the listing. I'll show you more about that. These links here are, well, this will take you to the county again. This will take you to Realist. Oh, good. They just continued the other one. That's good. So again, it's another way to get to the same place that you can get to from the dashboard or from a listing. Financials. This is one of my favorite places. So if you are thinking about refinancing or doing anything or helping a client make that decision, you can go here and help them. One of my favorites is the first amortizer. It's just a plain financial amortizer. It's the top of the middle column called Mortgage Calculators. And I'm going to click on that and show you. So this is what it looks like. And this tells us, right now it's set for $200,000, 15-year loan at 4.5% costs, $1,529.99 a month. But that's not what I want to know. I want to know $100,000. I want to know a 30-year mortgage because most people get 30-year mortgages. And I want to know the current rate. And it's probably 3%. It's probably a safe bet. And lo and behold, the monthly payment to borrow $100,000 right now is $421. Let's round it up for $425. So if somebody tells me that they can afford $3,000 a month, when I ask them, what do you want to pay a month? What can you afford? Not including electric and, cable and stuff like that. But like, what do you pay for rent now? Well, we pay $2,500, but we think we're willing to go to $3,000 because, we're going to own it. We're going to get some tax benefits. And so we're willing to go to $3,000. Okay, need $3,000 and you want a condo on the west side. Well, right now in my head, I go, I got to eliminate $1,000 for the maintenance fee. I'm just going to write that off. So that leaves me with $2,000 for mortgage. I ask them what kind of down payment they have, right, to find that out. And then I go, okay, then there's a little bit of tax and insurance. Let's say that's $250. So I have $1,750 for mortgage. Well, I know that it costs $425 a month, approximately, to borrow $100,000. So how many times does 425 go into 1,750? Well, if it were just 4, it would be 1,600. So it's $1,700, right? To borrow $400,000. I just figured out how much I can afford to look for them. See how I did that? If that's not comfortable for you, if what I just did went right over your head, don't worry about it. Ask the lender. Figure it out with the lender. But if you can do this, the point is that it's one thing to ask people, what price range are you considering? And they say, oh, $500,000-$600,000. Okay, do you have a down payment? Well, we've got $60,000, so we can put 10% down. Oh, okay, great. So that would be on a $600,000 property, that would be $540,000. Can they afford $540,000? No, they don't want to afford. They only want to spend $3,000 a month. The lender might have approved them for $600,000, but they don't want to spend that much. That's up to us. The lender's going to tell them what the lender is willing to do for them. We need to find out what they want to do. So I love these mortgage calculators because it helps me determine. And I can just go in here and say $400,000, right? And yes, they're going to get 3, or they're going to get 3.125. And look at that. $1,713 is what it's going to cost them. So now I've got $1,000 in maintenance fee. That's $2,700. And yeah, it's going to be about $200 a month in insurance and taxes, something like that, right? Maybe a little less. So I've got a little wiggle room. Does this make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Very cool calculator. The other one that's interesting over here is this one, 15-year versus 30-year, and showing people what it would cost to borrow that $400,000. Right, there's the $400,000. And we've got an interest rate for 15 years, let's say it's 4%, and for 30 years it's 4.125. So what is the difference? First of all, they're going to save $84,000 in interest, but it's going to cost them $1,245 more a month to borrow that money, right? So big difference in the monthly payments, big difference. And sometimes this works to your advantage, like the people who want to refi and get a 15-year loan, they go, yeah, let's do it. We want to pay this down. So fun little things. All right, we are going to move on to contacts. So I'm going to close this tab and I'm going to close our financial tab totally. And we're going to move on to contacts. And contacts is where all the good stuff happens. So we are going to add a contact. So I want you to go to add a contact and I want you to add yourself. All you need to add is your name and your phone number and your email address. Actually, you don't even need your phone number. So this kind of looks like a database or a CRM, and it kind of looks like that. But I want you to be aware that this is not a CRM. You cannot do anything out of this except send listings. So you want to include the most basic information here, and your CRM data goes into command. But in order to set somebody up here for auto notifications, you need to put a name in. So your name, first name, last name, and an email address, and then hit save. Okay, and when you hit save, it should take you to your list of contacts, and you should see yourself there if you don't have a lot there. I'm going to find myself here. There we go. And we're going to go to Missy Marion. So now you are in your contact. Everybody got that? Are you in your contact? Did you click on your name? And when you click on your name, this toolbar over on the left comes up, or what are your options, right? These are your options. So here is our contact information again. And then we've got buyer activity. And under buyer activity is where you can put a search. So we're going to add a search here. Hit add a search under buyer activity. And it's going to ask you, would you like to add a new saved search or load an existing saved search? Well, I haven't saved a search yet. So I'm going to, or actually, you know, I'm going to look for a new thing. So you are now going to set up an auto notification to yourself. And I recommend you select the area that and the type of property that you most want to know about. So if you're interested in selling condos in Kihei, you might want to do a condo in Kihei search. And the beauty of this is, well, I don't know about you, but I'm in my email a lot more than I am in Paragon. So my email tells me all the time what's new on the market in the areas that I want to know about. It is a great way to stay in touch with what's happening on the market, as opposed to always logging into Paragon and going to the new button. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to hit condominium. Now, when I pull up a condominium search, this is a main search, right? This is as if I pressed this button. So this is a main search here. I have saved my search to include the all active, all pending, and sold because I do a lot of CMAs. Well, in this instance, I don't want the solds and I don't want the pendings, and it's easier to get out of those than to add them in, which is why I do that. And I want to, whatever it is, I want all buildings, I don't care where, but I want to do this in Kihei, right? And if I just start typing, it will come up and I click on Kihei. And I might even want a more specific area. So maybe I want to go to the map search, click on the map, and I only want North Kihei. So I'm going to go to the draw feature. I'm going to try just a rubber band. I'm going to start it over here. Whoops. There we go. And I'm just going to go like that. And I click again, and those are results I get. And I can now, doesn't ask me to add. Yeah, I go to my criteria. Run search, and I should now get all of these listings. Now, when you set somebody up for auto search, like you're doing for yourself right now, you're not going to get all of these. These are all the ones that are already on the market. Your auto search is only going to pull the ones that are new listings or price changes that now meet your criteria as of today. So that's important to know, right? You can later on send this manually to people if you want or not, but the search is only going to start from today with new listings. Now I'm going to go back to my criteria because I want to limit what I see. When I ask for information on the market that I'm interested in, I actually differentiate by price. I go, so give me everything under $600,000. And the reason I do that is because they're different price categories, and I don't want it all in one email, right? So I'm going to do that. What's my count now? Much better, down to 71. Yep, 600,000 makes sense. So that's all I want. I don't want anything else. I want to know what's coming on the market at that price range. And then my next search would be everything over $600,000 in this area, maybe, right? I can differentiate that way. Or not. This is North Kihei. How many $1 million listings are there? No, not a lot. So it might be okay to make it all one. Up to you. Okay. So now that I've got this search, right? I'm going to go back to, I'm in my search, run the search. I have now run this search, and I am now going to save this search. I need to save this or hit to add to cart, either one, to, which one? Do I want to save all the listings? No, I don't actually want to save all these listings. I want to save the search. So I'm going to go to the save the search and save the search for Missy Marion. I tend to name it here, and I'm going to name it Kihei condo less than 600K Missy. That's the contact's name, right? And I'm going to save that. And that condo search is now added to Missy Marion's condo search or search criteria under buyer activities. So I can select it. So now I want to go to, do I want to edit the search? No. Do I want to do it in automatic notifications via Collab Center or email? I want to go by email. The moment I hit that, the email template comes up. So first of all, it's going to address Missy Marion, right? So we're going to go here, and I don't want that going there. I want it to go to Marion, and I'm in there. And since I'm sending it to myself, I don't need to blind copy myself, so I can unclick the blind copy thing over here. And then what else? Is there anything else? No, that's fine. So now the subject line. The subject line doesn't really do it for me. So it says real estate listing notification for Missy Marion. Well, they have learned that if you put your client's name in the subject line, they are more likely to open it. But I think they're also likely to open it if it says Kihei condo listing notification, because you agreed with your client, right? So do that. And for me, since this is coming to me, I'm going to go Kihei condo less than 600K, because now it really tells me what is it that I'm getting here. And I can take out that or not, whatever I want to do here. So now I know when this email comes that I'm going to be looking at what's going on in the market in North Kihei under $600,000. Right here underneath the subject line is where you choose the type of listing, the format of the email when the client or you are going to click on those listings. Now, what you want to do here is when you send it to yourself, send it as an agent listing synopsis or listing synopsis with map, whichever you prefer, so that you have the agent's information. It's highly annoying to send yourself customer information and you keep seeing your own picture. So be sure to use agent listing synopsis or no map. And then we're going to see here the date range. So this is going to go on for a year, and the notifications either happen immediate, which means in a busy market, you could be getting 3 emails a day. Do you really want 3 emails a day? Well, no, not really. So I'm going to hit recurring. The moment you hit recurring, right, it's on a schedule, you have to hit the set time. It won't let you out if you don't. So this is set for once a day at 2 a.m. Yep, that still works for me, and I'm going to hit open. That's all. That's all you need to do.
Marion, I'm
Yeah.
so sorry. How do you get to the email? I got distracted, and now I'm like, how did you?
Yeah. Let me
Where
answer.
is this at again? I understand how to do it. I just don't know how to open it.
So we saved our search. Did you save your search? And did you get to something that looks like this?
I saved my search, and then I'm like at my contacts. Sorry.
Well, get back into your contact.
I am. Yeah, I'm in my contacts.
All right. In your contact, you've got buyer activity, and your search should be listed here.
Okay.
With that, Marion, so that sidebar that has contact activity and all of those choices, how do I get that sidebar?
You need to click on yourself in the contact list. If you're here under contacts, you need to go to your contact and double click on yourself.
I did. Okay, I'm going to try that again. Okay. Okay, yeah. Continue to help.
Okay, Anitra, here we go. So if you found your search that you've saved, click on it.
Okay.
And this should come up.
Okay, thank you.
You see that?
Yes.
Now go over here where it says automatic notifications, and there's a down arrow. Do you want it off? Do you want to use email, or do you want to use the Collab Center? I chose email. And the moment you do that, well, if you do it the first time, your email is going to, the template comes up. I was already in there, so it's not going to come up automatically again. So I now need to go here and go add an email notification. See the notifications here?
Yes.
Right. So I can either I don't want to, yeah, add an email notification. And here we go. Now I didn't save the one that I was in before, so I got to start over. So I'm gonna, are you getting this? Did you get this?
Yes, I'm here. Yeah,
Okay.
I figured it out now.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna unclick that. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna change it to Kihei, or it's actually North Kihei, condo less than 600K, right? And then I'm gonna do it recurring, and I've got to go in there and say, yes, 2 o'clock in the morning every day is fine. And I want the customer listing synopsis. No, I want the agent listing synopsis. And here is now a price change. I'm going to get price changes and new matches. That's what I want.
Jeez.
And here is my body, my auto message body. So I'm going to say, hi, Missy. And now I got to format it. I don't know why it comes out wrong, but it does. And I'm just going to go like this and like that. And I might take a little space out here. Yeah, and there's my email, and I'm gonna get, okay, looks good to me. And you should start getting emails. Now I've got this set up for numerous areas, and in those areas where there's lots of listings, I do differentiate between over 1 million or under 1 million, or over 750 and under 750. And in some cases, there's no need to differentiate because there's so little coming on market. So I just have one search. So I just do one search for Kula, one search for Haiku, one search for Pukalani. In Kihei, I tend to differentiate a bit more. So I always know what's in my email. If I want to look at new listings, I can just click on my emails. Now I'm going to cancel this because I don't want a new search, but you would need to sit okay. And then that would be done for you. So I'm also going to remove this search because I don't want another search. I'm going to delete the whole search, right? So you can see now the one that is active for this particular buyer, I can go in and change things, right? So if I wanted to change the email notification on this particular notification that I'm getting, and I do, because I am getting the customer listing synopsis and it's driving me crazy. So I'm going to fix this right here and go to the agent listing synopsis and save that. And now I have fixed that problem. The beauty about doing this is you're going to notice that what it's like to get the different emails to help your clients through it, and you're going to get your data in very useful ways. Now, notice that I can go further down in this contact, and there's something called message history. What is that? Well, look at this. Here are all the emails that I have already received, right? That this client has already received. Here's the most recent. It was sent on August 1st. No, that's not 9, right here at the top. So if you just check the box, it appears down here, and I can now click on the link and I get the listing that I sent. So if the client calls me up and says, oh my gosh, you know, you sent me a listing about 2 weeks ago and I keep thinking about it, but I can't find it anymore. Oh, okay, let me see here. I can go in there and go, well, about 2 weeks ago, that would be right around here. Maybe it's one of these. And you've got this history. And notice there are 3 pages of old emails here. So I can go quite far back, right?
Oh my God.
I can also see 100 at a time and only get on 1 page. But here's all my email history to this particular client.
Okay.
So I can see what it is I've sent them. And if they ask me that question, I go, oh yeah. Now, let's be very clear. Paragon will not keep an email if you haven't entered the name into your contacts. But whether you send them a custom email, like just one off, right? Or auto notifications, this system will remember and hold all the emails that you sent them if you've got a contact, if they've got a contact to save it under. It's pretty cool. Okay? Like I said, you might want to investigate the Collab Center. That was really handy for people who were off island and planning to come. And it was a great way for us to communicate. For me, myself, no, it's too cumbersome. I prefer just the emails to myself. Or, you know, so you can decide. Depends on age too, right? How techie are people? The two people, this woman, Felice, she worked for Microsoft, for God's sake. She's totally techie. And she wanted that kind of website and ability to comment on the listings, right? So it helps for you to learn the Collab Center or Commands version of that. Okay, that's our contacts. CMA, you can't break anything in here. Try it, set it up for yourself, take a look, see how you can edit it. It's pretty cool. Listings, we're not going to go into listings today, how to enter a listing. It's pretty much follow the bouncing ball. Pretty straightforward. It won't let you out if you haven't filled in what you have to. The thing to remember is to be sure to list all the inclusions. You can rearrange your pictures really easily. So you can also save it before publishing it, and it'll give you a temporary number. So Larry offers a class on how to do listings. I don't know if he's done one lately. If you need help, call me. We are going to go to search. We are going to do a residential search. Residential, anybody got a search they need to do? Well, I want to search for, I've just decided, I'm looking for condos. And I'm looking for condos in for a client, and they want to know whether the price is good or not. So that is why I have active, pending, and sold already preset. How did I do that? Well, I went to customize. I customized my fields, right? And I had this filled in. And then I said, apply and save as. And I named this search. And it asks me when I hit apply and save as, it asks me, do I want to save it with the criteria that is filled in or without the criteria? And I said, save the criteria values. And notice I called it MH default search. And I set it as my default condominium search. When I do that, I save the criteria and the default search and set it as my default. I now get what I pre-filled here. Only when you pre-fill things do you need to name a search. Otherwise, everything else that you can do about this search panel, it will automatically save for you. And you don't need to worry about naming it, okay? So let me show you here about how to customize again, because this is important. Here is fields. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do this, I'm going to show you. I've asked for solds. And the moment you ask for solds, you need to put a closing date in there. Otherwise, there are 30,000 listings that this search is going to pull up because there is no end date to the solds. Well, if you scroll down, your sold button is about here, the sold fields. I moved mine up here, right underneath status, so that immediately when I add search, when you don't ask for sold, it goes gray. But when I add sold, right, it lights up. It now needs you to fill this in. So I'm going to say, oh, I just want to look at the last 6 months. So I can now do that right away. So how do you customize your screen to do that? Once again, everything on your screen that is there now is on the right-hand side. Everything on the left-hand side could be there. There are also, I just want to point this out, different buckets. See these? I've got more information down here, and I've got more information down here. So this is secondary criteria, and this is advanced criteria. I could actually change these criteria as well. So I can go to customize, and I can either change the names of the containers. So under residential, I think my first container or the second container is called Ohana. So if I want to look for things with Ohana, I just go to that container and fill it out, but it doesn't clog up my general search page. Kind of interesting. So right here, I am now amending the primary container. I could amend what's in the secondary container or the advanced container. So kind of good to know if you wanted to play with simplifying your screen and then adding more complex things as you want. Totally up to you if you want to play with it. So I'm in the condominium class, and I want to show you what you need here and what you don't need here. One of the things you've probably got is all the TMK elements. District, zone, parcel, plat, all of that. You don't need those. The only one you need is district. So take out parcel, plat, zone. You don't need those. Take out other things you don't like. And what I did is scroll near the bottom, wherever you are, hit the closing date icon and move it up right under status. See that? I'm going to move it up, move it down. I've got it right at the top under status. And now I don't have to search for this closing date field anymore. So helpful. I can also take out things that I don't need. Does this make sense? You're not going to fix it all today. You will fix it over time. Now that you see how easy it is to just hit apply and save it, you can make changes on the fly. Sometimes I've got things in here like, do I have, yeah, I didn't have view for a long time. And I realized people search by view. They want a view. So if I want to be able to search by view, I need to have view in my search criteria. So I added view, right? Okay, the next thing I want you to see is that you can use these things over here at the end. So the closing date, instead of coming up with dates, just say 12 months, 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, 90 days, 60 days. Much easier when you go like that than when you put the dates in and have to figure it out yourself. So much easier. The next thing, what are we looking for? So we're looking for 60 days, and we're looking for anywhere in Ka'anapali. And I just start typing it and it'll come up and I can click on it. And my client is looking for something nice. So I'm going to go from 900,000 to 1.5 million. And I'm going to hit the count button. And that brings me 42. That could be a little high, but let's see. And I've only pulled 60 days. So that means there's quite a few there. All right. And the first thing I'm going to do, here's my spreadsheet, right? I am going to click on status. So you want status. Now again, you go like, Marion, my status button is all the way back here. How do I get it forward? How do we do that? We go to customize, we go to fields, we wait for it to load. We go to the status item and we move it up or down, which really means left or right on the screen, right? So you can move your status or your whatever it is you want to be closer to the left or the right of your spreadsheet, just by moving it up or down. So What's nice about status and about all of these categories is you just double click on the header and all of a sudden everything goes into alphabetical order according to that header. So I can do that by building name too. If I want to look at everything by building name, I simply click on building name and now I get everything by the building name. Kind of cool, right? But I wanted to just get a market overview. So the market overview tells me there are 31 active listings. There's all of 6 pending. And there are from 38 to 42. In the last 60 days, we've had 5 closings. So there's quite a choice. So if my client is looking for a CMA here, right? I might go, you know what? I want to go back more. 60 days isn't enough. I want to see more sold. So let's do 6 months and let's do a tighter price range because they really don't want to spend that much. So I'm going to do $13.50 and see what that gets me. Not a lot of difference, 41. I'm going to go to status and I'm just going to pick one and I'm going to say, okay, they are looking at a whalers unit. So this is the unit that they want and the unit is 1.35. It is, and here's what Keone was teaching us yesterday. Now we just have to do is look at the pictures and get a good sense. Damn view, right? Sweet, a little dated. Kitchen, let's see here. That's pretty dated, I think. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay. Nice, nice, right? So we look at the pictures. Oops, I'm gonna move you to close this. And I can now click this, let's say if I'm doing showings or if I want to choose this for my CMA, I'm going to click it here and I'm going to go to next. So to get around in my spreadsheet, I can go to the next listing, the prior listing, I can go to the beginning of the list or to the end of the list. And if I want to get back to the spreadsheet, remember, you got to hit the back button. So I'm going to go forward and pick another one. This is not going to be a comp, so I need one with a dramatic ocean view. So I might go back and say, give me all of my view condos. Maybe I just click on that. Okay, whoops, I clicked again, shouldn't have done that. And here's all my ocean view condos, right? And those are the ones I want because here's the one I already chose. So for sure, this was a head-on ocean view. So maybe this is a comp and maybe, what is this? This is a whaler. So I'm going to pick another whalers. And here's a whalers 2. And here is another one with an ocean view that is pending, right? Obviously, I'm going to take more time. There's nothing more time consuming than a CMA. Probably takes me 2 hours to price a property and finish my CMA and finish my conclusions. Sometimes I do it one afternoon and I have to sleep on it. And I trust myself. If I wake up in the morning and go, oh my God, I priced it too low. Oh my God. I'll go back and I'll review it all and see if I priced it too low. Or I go, oh boy, it's way too high. Or sometimes I wake up and I go, nope, that feels pretty good. So I allow myself some time to digest. I know I digest very well when I sleep, so I'll do that. But it's a process, right? Is to be sure to get all of these. Here's another couple. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Here's another oceanfront, beautiful. This is 1349, same price range. So again, we'd want to look at it, see if it's comparable in the interior, and then click on that, right? So here we go. I'm going to click on that to get a couple of more solds. And There we go. Whalers are smaller, right? So it's also about the square footage. Like this is a 1,799 square foot condo. I don't think that's a comp for a 900 square foot condo. So I got to make sure about that I'm choosing like properties, right? So let's say I've chosen all of these. I've gone through all of this, and these are my comps. I've got actives, pendings. Have I got actives? I got a couple of actives. I have any more actives? No. There's one. All right. So now I want to look at these and I want to compare them. So I'm going to go way over here to the checked, and I'm going to look at only the checked. Look at that. Isn't that nice? And I look at these and I go, I've got, let's see here. Let's go by status. I've got 3 actives, 1 pending, and 4 sold. Well, that's actually not bad, but I sure would like 1 more active. I can go back to the all list. Look at this. It takes me right back to the whole list. So I haven't lost this, right? So I can go here and choose another active if I wanted, or go, no, I guess I do have it all. And now I'm going to go here. So here's a nice list. Now, this is what, Steve, what you were asking about. Here is where I go to my reports, and I'm going to shrink these down, the ones that are always open, and I'm going to go down to the CMA reports. And when you click on that, you will see 3 options there. The reason you don't see 3 on my screen is because I pulled them up here already. So I have a CMA quick view, and I have something called the CMA summary, and that's my favorite report. It comes up in the CMA report too, that's up here, that fancy report, it comes up there as well. It's a very good report. And it compares our units by the units that you've chosen here by cost per square foot. And sometimes that is a really good indicator, right? So here we go. On the active listings, we've got the cost per square foot at $14.91, $13.20, and $12.97. Well, I guess that one's a bit of a bargain, right? Oh, $12.37. So the average cost per square foot is $13.49. The minimum, the maximum, and here is the median. So now you've got a good idea of the value you're getting per unit. Notice they're all the same square feet. So the issue is probably how much they've been updated and upgraded, right? Because notice here that this price is at 1.3. That's the one our clients want. And the other ones are a full $150,000 or $190,000, $200,000 less. So that better be one heck of an upgrade or one heck of a better view. Yeah. Then we've got a pending. So the pending one sold at $970. That was only at 641 square feet. So I'd want to double check what, but it's also a much larger unit. So what, and it's a masters and we're in the whalers, right? So I'd have to see, why did I pull that, right? So clearly pulling, I don't want to take the time today, pulling your comps is really important so that you're pulling like comps. And then we've got the solds, and now we can see what the sold prices are, right? And sometimes talking about the cost per square foot is really handy, isn't it? And this report really lets you do that. You can do this for residential as well. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you do it as carefully as you can, and residential properties are so different, right? They're so different sometimes that it's really hard to make those cost per square foot comparisons. And sometimes, like if you're in a neighborhood that's all pretty uniform and they've all been built in the last 10 years, in that area, it's going to work. So I always try this report. I always see whether this will work for me. Okay, now I'm going to go back. I'm going to do our check all and go back to all. And let's say that I'm just looking to show property, right? So I'm going to hit the active button. And of course, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go look at each listing. So I want to take you through what we see in each listing. I prefer the larger picture. That's my thing. The thing about choosing the view that you're going to use is so that you can easily find the information here. So this is a Whalers unit in Whalers 1. The price is $1,195,000. It is a 1-bedroom unit with 1 bath. It's on the 2nd floor, 901 square feet. It has been on market for 285 days. The maintenance fee is $2,088. I think I just had a heart attack. And this building was built in 1975, but you'll see they really do a magnificent job at maintaining it. This is a sold unit. My apologies. I meant to pull an active unit. So you can see here how I can just look at the listing and talk to my client and sound like I'm pretty familiar with this unit. Now the client might say to me, oh, have you been in this unit? And I go, no, I actually haven't been in this one, but I've been in quite a number of Whalers units, so I'm quite familiar with the property, right? Isn't that a cool thing to be able to say, right? So if you're not familiar with all the condo complexes, take it from me. Get familiar and you'll be able to say that, because you'll never be able to look at every unit. Well, that's not true. After some time you will. But it's great to be able to say, I'm quite familiar with this complex and can tell you all about it. But we can see from the pictures that this particular unit, is in great shape and whatnot, blah, 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 blah. The point is, it's easy for me to go through this data because I'm used to reading it. And that's why you want to pick one view. So underneath the pictures, whether you use this view or the other one, you have these icons. Let's go through those. The first one is the map icon. And in this case, we're in a condo, not so crucial, but when you're doing single family, pretty important. And I can pull out here and get a better sense of where exactly this is at, right? The next icon is D for documents. Awesome, awesome. This listing agent has put a rental income document and rental income for 2019. Love this listing agent. Who is this? I'm going to find out. Darn, this is just great, right? So I have to hit my back button to get back to the listing. This is, oh, it's Mark Marcello. It's one of us. So awesome. And Susan Deloria. So love that they included those. So that's the D here. It usually doesn't appear because often there isn't anything there. The next is one of my all-time favorite buttons, the history button. The history button tells you the listing and sales history of this particular unit. So this unit has been sold 3 times or on market 3 times. The first time was in 1999. It was withdrawn for $492,000. The next time it went active pending and it sold in 2000. And then it got recorded twice. I don't know why it got recorded twice, but it did. Whatever that means. Oh, I bet you they bought the fee. I bet you that's what that's about. This is a fee sale in here. And then the next one was 2019. It was listed last year in August. It was originally listed at $1,295, and so 1,000. You're right, $1,295,000, and they reduced it to $1,195,000 and went into escrow 2 months later, almost 3 months. November, December, January. Yeah, almost 3 months later. Finally went into escrow, and they sold in. It closed. That was a long escrow. In June, on June 1st, at $1,150,000. The beauty of the history, first of all, you can print it, which is really great, is that sometimes you can see that a house chased the market and reduced its price and reduced its price. And you want to show that at your listing presentation, because the neighbor needs to see how long it took to sell that house because it was priced too high to begin with. It's a great tool. So the history button.
Marion?
Yes.
I hope that you didn't mention this. I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but not every listing has a history button. Did I miss that?
No, not every listing has a D for documents button.
Okay. Does everyone have a history button?
Should. If they don't, it means it's listed for the first time, but even
Okay.
then it should appear. So I'm not sure why it won't appear on the customer listing synopsis. So you have to be in the agent listing synopsis.
Oh, yeah.
Show,
Okay,
right?
I'm in the wrong one.
Yeah, get out of customer. Don't even go there. Do not go to, you do not need to look at yourself. You will have, and you're going to want to know, who's this listing agent? How much is the commission that they're offering on this? What are the realtor remarks? You do not want to be in customer. Good point. Thank you. The tax
Okay.
button, the tax button here, this T, just ignore it. That's tax information pulled by Paragon for it. Don't even go there. It's pretty useless. Just go to the one at the end. The one at the end is our realist button. So we're going to go to realist. Just by clicking this button, it's going to take us to this condo's tax record information via realist. So here is the owner, and here's the location information. Here's the current tax information, and here is a link to the actual tax record. So you can click that and get to the Maui County tax record, where you can also access the map. So you could click here and then get the property map right here. So if you want the county tax record, that's how you go there. Otherwise, we go back to the realist listing and we get the information here too. Here's the assessment data for 2020, 2019, and 2018. It's assessed at $978,000 with land value of $80,000 for and the improvements are $898. Our assessments are usually below the market value, except when the prices are going down. And they take a little while to catch up because they adjust the assessed value based on surrounding sales. Or if this unit sells, its sales price will be the source for the new assessment. And then here's the total taxes that were due for this property for each year. So here you go. This property has $10,000 in property tax a year. So that's $800 a month just in property tax, right? And here are the characteristics. And one of the things I love about this, when you pull up houses here, you will sometimes see that it says, oh, on total bedrooms, it says MLS 3, tax record 4. You know what? Which means that the tax record thinks there's 4 bedrooms there. So they must have taken down a wall. It's kind of a nice flag for you to ask the listing agent, did they remove a bedroom and, you know, enlarge a bedroom by making 2 into 1 or whatever? So good stuff. I love the selling score, whatever that means. That's kind of new. And here we have listing information. So this would be the current listing information and then last market sales history. So you can see that here's history as well. But you can't see price changes, right? The beauty of the history button is you get to see the price changes. And here's the mortgage history. Now they changed this, but it is very useful when there is mortgage history there for you to see that these people took out a mortgage on 6/1 for $625,000. So if you're going to take this listing and you saw that they took this mortgage 3 years ago, they still owe $610,000, right? Because mortgages are slow to pay down the principal. So it's kind of good to see that. So the realist data, very, very handy. And then up here, this button on top, the gray one with the 3 bars, is RPR. And like I said, RPR is, you need to register once. So this should take me in here because my computer is so smart and remembers, because I don't. And it's going to take me into RPR. Like I said, this doesn't cost anything, and takes me to this property and lets me do a CNA right in RPR. So check this out. This is really a very cool, see, right here to the property. And I can now do a refined value and go here and refine the value if I want to. So play around. This is RPR right here. Okay, what else have I got here? Yes, realtor remarks. No realtor remarks. That's kind of nice. Here is our commission that's being offered, and seller is not paying GET. And here are all the inclusions that should be at every listing, so that you can fill out the purchase contract for the inclusions. This is where you find them. Sometimes I like to go to the, let me see where the detailed reports are, and I go to the agent full listing, because sometimes there are inclusions that are listed here more so than in other places. So here is the inclusion list again, and I just like to check it right here. I don't know why it varies, but it's worth checking this.
Yeah, Marion, I've had it where I've written a contract and all the inclusions weren't there, so they had to write a counter offer to clean that up, because it was incomplete. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been happening more and more. It's really inexcusable. I don't know why it's happening, why people are doing that. I kind of know it's because it's in a different tab and you think you've entered your whole listing, and inclusions are not required. So it will let you post your listing without them, and they really should be required, but they're not. Anyway, so
I usually would call the listing agent and I would say, is it complete, so that I could do an appropriate purchase contract. Yeah.
absolutely. And I've had situations with agents who couldn't reach the listing agent, whatever. So you know what you can do? You look at every picture really carefully and you go, what is here? And you go, oh, there's a swag lamp. I want that. And you go, you keep going. You go, well, there's definitely a refrigerator. I want that. You might mention the mirrors on the wall as inclusions, right? Make sure that's included. Let's say the furniture isn't, of course, in a vacation rental condo. Look at this. We have a microwave. So by going through the pictures, I can even see a dishwasher here and a range, right? So I can discern a lot by simply looking at the pictures. And if I go through this, I will probably find out if there's a washer dryer, right? So that is another way. Is just include what you see there.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, guys, that takes us pretty much to the end of our Paragon lesson. Woo! Questions?
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you're going into search, and when you have the button that says all active, I don't have that, and I don't know why.
So when you're in status, right?
Yeah.
And you just hit an A, does this box come up?
No. Oh.
All right, put right all.
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does. So it'll learn, you'll learn, your computer will learn. So mine comes up if I just put the first letter of things and the whole box comes up.
Okay.
So there's all active. The same thing is true for pending, by the way. You want all pending, because what's the difference? We used to have a difference in continue to show and pending do not show. I don't see those anymore, but just hit all pending.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. You know, because I kept hitting the little magnifying glass.
Oh, I see. Over here. Yeah, no, you don't need to do that. It is, Paragon is so intuitive. If you just put one letter down, like even under district, if I put M, it's going to come up with all my options, right? If I just put MAK, it comes up with Makawa right there.
Perfect.
So I just put, you just have to type a couple of things.
Okay.
Mhm.
Thank you. This
Uh-huh.
was such a great class.
And you know what? I forgot to tape it. Oh my gosh.
It says recording.
Yes, it's recording.
It is a recording, Marion. You're good.
Oh, look how smart they were.
You're so
Awesome.
smart.
Marion, thank you. Always great new tricks to remember. Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Marion.
All
Yeah.
right,
Thank you, Marion.
Thanks,
I could
Mary.
spend the
Have
whole
a
day
great
with you,
day.
Thank
Marion.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Bye
guys.
bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Marion.